Yeah, exactly.
Bro, I used to. Oh man, I fucking hate saying this. When I was like 13, I would get on the phone with like spam callers and be like, "Oh, how you doing, ma'am?" I'm like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, "Nah, nah."
Yeah, I got that once in my life ever. I answered the same thing when I answered the phone, and they said, "Oh, they're not available." Okay, thank you very much, ma'am. I was like, "What
Yeah.
this mother?" It was funny, dude.
Damn.
But yeah, I love karaoke. I haven't done it in a while though. Karaoke, I haven't
I've
done it.
only I've only done it like a couple of times, like when I'm out like with friends drinking. Sometimes I'll like have karaoke and we're like, should we do it or not? And then all right, after the shot.
Yeah.
Let's
Once
do
you
it.
start getting those shots, and you're like,
It's
"All right,
okay.
fucking
Yeah.
give me the mic."
And it's cool though. You know what though? Like, it's cool, man. Like, cause like when you're at bars, you think people are gonna be like, this guy sucks and anything, but they go along with it. Like,
They do.
you're singing, you're like, yeah. Even though like you miss a note, they're like, fuck yeah, let's go. Like it's So,
No, but there are some times where you guys look at your friends, you're like, "God damn, this motherfucker!" Like he's going at it though.
yeah.
I think karaoke, because I've seen some guy that was bad, but he had his confidence up here.
Oh.
And sometimes that's all it takes is just to have that like fuck it attitude where like you just gotta do it. And then girls fall in love with it, dog.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I think so.
Confidence is key, man.
Wait, so you live in Paramount and you live where?
I live in La Puente, but
Oh,
I
okay,
was
so-
up in Glendora on the field.
Okay, Paramount's in LA, right?
It's right by Downey. It's probably like 15 miles from LA.
Oh,
But it's right by Downey.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
close to Downey, Bellflower, like those areas. Close to Southgate too.
So do you guys go to bars around here?
I don't go to bars much at all. I'm a family man.
Oh, you have kids?
Yeah, I have
Oh,
three
shit.
kids. I have 3 kids and my wife. And then this guy goes out, but he's been a lot better. He has good stories to tell, but he's definitely been more on top of his game. You know.
So even when you were younger, you never really would go.
No. I was raised up in a Christian home.
Oh, shit,
With
that's
a Christian family and stuff like that, and obviously I had my rebellious stage where like I went out and every other weekend or so and stuff like that. But I don't have any crazy stories, you know.
Yeah.
But no, I'm not a heavy drinker, you know, a moderate drinker.
Yeah.
Maybe one time a month or 2 times every other month or so. But we'll drink sometimes, but it's when we're like brainstorming and doing business ideas and stuff like that. But no, I don't drink much. Yo, what about you?
Yeah, I drink. I mean, kind of like being a little more open about this aspect, like of my life, because I've been a little quiet about drinking. So I mean, I did start partying at a young age, so I've had my good times, and don't get me wrong, under the influence, I've had the best times, you know. But obviously, drinking is not the best thing, right? But yeah, I've drank. I party. Partying times, you know, bar hopping, and then believe it or not, the last few months I just go to bars to read. That's it.
Okay. That's a good pickup
That's
tactic.
all I do. Yeah, and when I read, once I start feeling tipsy and my brain's not capturing any information, that's where I'm like, okay, I gotta put it down.
And then what you
Now let's enjoy
Okay,
the
yeah, that's
atmosphere.
cool.
Yeah, but you meet interesting people. It's kind of like similar to a podcast, right? Like you get people in, you learn about their stories or backgrounds and stuff like that. And sometimes you have somebody coming in, either having a shitty day or having a great day, and they'll be like, "What's up, man? What are you celebrating?" Or, "Hey, what are you doing?" "Oh, you know, it's a tough day at work. Just came in for a drink." And stuff
I've
like that.
noticed that like if I ever bring my laptop at a bar or I read or I do something, I get more people approaching me than me just sitting there having a beer in my hand.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what it is, but I get people that just come up and they start talking and talking. I'm like, I guess I gotta stop doing what I'm doing now. But I enjoy that, like
Yeah.
doing that type of stuff.
Yeah, so it's cool. You get to meet people. I've met cool people. I've met I've how do you say it? I've made clients at the bar too. And then the same question is always like, how are you a trainer and you're like drunk at a bar? I'm like,
hate
well,
that
hey,
question.
yeah, I got a life outside of fitness too, you know.
Yeah.
But all in moderation, right? So, and then I feel that because of that, like they feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And then that's how they become like, hey, you know, this is my trainer. He's cool. He's very like moderate when it comes to things. And as a trainer too, I don't like being restrictive when it comes to nutrition, lifestyle outside of fitness and stuff like that, because fitness can be an addiction too, and it can't be. It could be a bad addiction as well.
You
As
think
like
so?
anything else.
You think it
Yeah.
could be a bad addiction?
I don't want to say a bad addiction. Let me rephrase that. It could be overtaking, meaning you could. It's like everything else, right? Like, let's say you have chores to do or like other priorities that you need to take care of, but then it's always gym, 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 gym. That's
Okay.
what I mean.
Yeah.
And I mean, everybody has a reason why, so I'm not gonna judge that, but it can become something that it's like life taking, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you're saying like it becomes an addiction in the sense that you use it as too much of a coping mechanism.
Exactly.
And you're
yeah,
getting lost within the gym, and you're not. I'm not saying you're not making any money. You're also not moving forward in life. Like
Yeah.
You're just stuck into that one thing.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That used to be my thing for basketball. Like I grew up doing basketball, and then it got to the point where I was like, I'm so bored that I'm not focusing on how to better my life, and I'm
Right.
just go to the park and play basketball
Yep.
because it's one of my outlets. But it's not the greatest outlet right now in this moment.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with
So
that.
stuff like that, but anyways, yeah. So
No, it's funny that you say I don't get why people I feel like unless you're gonna be a top athlete for a certain sport or you're competing, I think it's good to, if you want to drink in moderation.
Right.
Because we're just regular people, right? Like we're just training. I think it's more like to stay healthy and stay fit within your normal day life. But unless you're training to be something like an athlete or you're competing, I think then that's when you're like, all right, let's cut the drinking, cut
Oh,
the
yeah.
soda, cut the chips and all that shit.
yeah, I feel when in that aspect, because I should be getting ready for a bodybuilding competition.
Oh, shit.
But because of the drinking and because of like not locking in, which is a term of like
Yeah.
get your shit straight, I've been holding back. But I feel that when for example, like you said, like when you're trying to be like a pro athlete or just chasing some sort of any competition or training towards a competition, I think aside of that, everybody needs a team to that aspect. Like you need somebody who kind of like keep you in check,
Yeah.
keep you accountable. You need somebody who is training you. You need somebody who's gonna call you out on your flaws, like during training, and stuff like that. So I feel like I don't know.
No, I agree with that. I
That
mean,
makes sense.
same with you. Yeah, I mean, you agree with all that shit?
Yeah, no, I agree. That's why we partnered up, for the fitness things that we do, because we have a lot in common in that aspect. Like for me, like going back to the drinking, like I drink for the taste of it. I'll go drink it with my wife or my dad, and I don't drink for the bad way of drinking is drink to get drunk, and
Yeah.
messed up. So I don't drink for that reason, and I usually at a certain point I'll stop. Like okay, I'm feeling it. I'm not gonna keep going and stuff, but yeah, very similar. But I wanted to go back to a funny story with him drinking, because I remember he's very productive when he drinks. So like he said, he reads and stuff. So something funny about that is every time he would go I know when he would go drinking, because then my phone would blast like at 11:30,
just brainstorming
12:30,
fucking
1 a.m,
ideas.
2 a.m. Even my wife's like who's texting you right now? I was like, it's Mario.
You're like, I swear it's a Mario.
He said, hey, we got to lock in. We got to do this. We got to do that. And he literally paragraphs. Sometimes I'll wake up to like a whole monologue of him just describing all these different things. I was like, well, at least he's getting something good out of drinking. But no, he's been good. He has a really good boundaries with drinking now. And I'm proud of him for, controlling that now. But I remember those funny moments of it. Always, he's just motivated. He gets super motivated and stuff, which is cool. Which is why we partner up, because we like to motivate each other. When one of us is down, the other one picks the other one up for a while and kind of picks up the slack, and same the other way around. So, yeah, that's
So that's funny, because I could ask you this directly, but let me ask you this from a nicer perspective, because you guys are partners. Do
Yeah.
you think he was having a problem with drinking too much?
Yeah, we talked about it. The cool thing is we're very truthful for each other.
That's
I
good.
I think in a business partnership, and we're also really good friends as well. It's good to be transparent. So he knows when I'm slacking or something's going wrong. I can tell when he's slacking or something's going wrong. So he definitely was drinking a lot, and I wouldn't judge him. I don't like to. I call it righteous judgment. So like I don't like to judge people harshly. Like, hey, idiot, you're doing that. But I like to tell the truth. And if the truth is hurts, that's the way it is. I'd rather stab him from the front than the back, kind of thing. You know what I mean? So what I would tell him like, hey, bro, like you gotta slow it down, man. Like you're drinking all the time, like. He's like, are you happy with that? He's like, no. Like, he would always tell me that, no, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna slow down. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna slow down. He's like, no, I'm not going out tonight. And then he'll text me an hour later, I went out. And that happened a lot. But I would just say, like, bro, like, you gotta lock in, man. Like, you're very, you're very savvy in the gym industry. You have a lot of potential. I see it. That's why I partnered up. We have a story of how we met and where we are now. It's like, that's why we're here where we're at now. And I chose to partner with you because of his mindset, because of the way he thinks about training and, his philosophy. I agree a lot with and stuff like that. So, so yeah, after a while, like, he started talking to me about it, like, yeah, I'm gonna stop. And slowly he started following what he was saying in that aspect. And then now he's pretty control of it now. He's been on top of it last, like, couple months. So I'm always proud of him. Like, good job, dude. Like, I was always telling him, like, what I thought, but always not making him feel bad. You know, like, because I'm no one to make him feel bad. But as a friend, I feel like telling him the truth is the right thing. And he always took it. He does the same thing with me with fitness. And, every time we, like I'm trying to lose weight because my weight fluctuates so much since I was young. He said, bro, get on your diet. And he'd always make jokes like that with me and stuff. But, very truthful for each other. We're not we call ourselves unoffendable. You can say anything to us. We don't care. You know what I mean? I don't think it's a real word, but, like, people these days are very offended about any little thing. But us, no, we can say anything to each other. We're like, whatever. Like, we don't care. Like, we mess around all the time. But yeah, I mean, he's been pretty much I don't know if you want to talk about your little journey on that, but you've been great.
Yeah. So we said, like, we're very unoffendable. When he slacks, I'll call him out. When I slack, he calls me out. And I think that's what I appreciate about him, just because it's like when someone genuinely loves you, even a friend, anybody is going to call you out on your bullshit, right? Whether it's like the tiniest little thing, hey, man, fucking up, pick up the slack. So I appreciate that about him. His wife, too, Gabby. They have a bakery, too. So it's cool because, like, we all sometimes brainstorm with, like, fitness or bakery, but we call each other out. Yeah, and that's what I appreciate about them. Like, and I feel that's what a genuine friendship is, when you're able to be open with people like that. Call them out and they don't get offended. Maybe a tiny bit, but then it just goes away. It's just like boop, boop. But yeah, no. But with the drinking, I've lately been a little more open about it, like, because on my social media, I don't really put much of, like, my outside life on Instagram. So obviously it's a business, so you don't want to put, your stuff out there. And social media it's a monster, man. Like, things you say could always backfire. It's the things you show could always backfire. People call you out on it, but that is social media, right? Now what the drinking is like, and I'll be honest, like, for a year and a half, there was a moment where, I was drinking like 4 to 5 days, and it wasn't just to, hey, I'm gonna get a little sip or just 1 or 2 beers. No, it was just go there, get fucking plastered, and the next day, do it all over again. What would I do? Wake up late, arrive late to my clients. I got dropped by a couple of clients as well, which I wasn't proud of, because that's not what my work ethic. Like, I like to be on top of things when it comes to work, especially when you're juggling someone's health, right? So it's a big responsibility. What else? Yeah, it was just like that, 4 to 5 days a week, drinking. I met a couple of great women along the way, and because of the drinking, yeah, of course, yeah. They pretty much called me out. Hey, man, you drink too much. Yeah. Hey, man, you drink too much. Like, so I didn't give a fuck. I didn't care. I'm to a point, like, I guess in age where I'm just like, sometimes, like, things come out and, I don't get offended or anything like that. I love it when people tell me the truth, but at the end, there was so it went like that for a cool minute, until the beginning of October. It started when I told my coach, I was like, hey, man, if I don't stop drinking or cutting it down through October, like, I'm going to go into,
no,
rehab.
For real?
Yeah.
It was that bad?
It was that bad, man. Yeah. Like, so I would go into rehab, right? And he was like, okay, well, get on your shit, man. You know, like, get on it. And that's what I love about that team, too. Like, his name's Adam, my coach. That's what I love about our lifting team, that even though we show our tough love to each other, like talk shit, make jokes and stuff like that, we're always accountable of each other. Like, hey, man, pick up the slack. Like, what's going on? Or checking in, you know, too. Like, hey, man, like, outside of fitness, outside of whatever, like, how are you? Like, how are you doing today? Like, anything happening, etc. So I appreciate that about them, too. But yeah, one day I thought about it. I got out of the bar. I was drunk. I had nothing going on. And I was just crying. I started crying. And I was like, fuck, like, what am I doing? You know, like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, I'm doing it all over again. It's a cycle. I go to sleep. I wake up late. I eat the shittiest foods. I did gain a little bit of weight. Also, on top of that, as soon as evening would hit, like around 8, 9, 10 p.m., I'd be like, fuck, I'm bored. I'm out. You know, I'll go to a bar and do the same shit all over again. Yeah. So, yeah. So I just told him, I'm like, hey, man, like, you know, I told my coach, I told him, hey, if I don't stop by October, I'm going to check myself into rehab. I don't give a fuck. Like, I need to stop this, right? And as you age, alcohol catches up to you.
Fuck, that hangovers are nasty.
Yeah. And, yeah. So now it's like, I started getting back on my shit, like reading, you know, kind of like journaling more. That's been a huge game changer for me. I used to think journaling was for pussies, but
That's
now
a funny one for pussy. I thought you were gonna say just like unreasonable. Like there's no point of it.
nah.
God damn. Okay.
I thought it was, yeah, it was just like writing my emotions out, you know. But no, it was because I used to think about like the whole like, I know I'm going off topic.
No. Go.
I used to think about like, you know, journaling or finding like a morning routine or just any routine that makes you better, 1% greater each day. I used to think that was for pussies because it's like, okay, you need structure to be that way, bro. Just fucking do it. That's it. Right?
Yeah.
It was that macho mentality of like, oh, I need to do this. Fuck that. Just do it, man. You know, if you do that, you ain't a man or whatever, you know? And now realizing that, like, thinking about it, it was just like, man, I feel like a dumbass just even thinking that way, you know? So, yeah. So I feel that, you know, getting back on track, journaling, I think has been a total game changer. Like, I'm able to obviously write down my thoughts, write down, you know, ideas, brainstorm, et cetera. And then just writing down your wins, like any little win that you do or have or et cetera through the day goes a long way because it's like, fuck, man, I just did this. That's cool. If I didn't write it down, like the next morning when I open up my journal, I see that win and I'm like, oh, okay, it motivates me to turn the page, write down, and then aim for another win, you know? So I started doing that. It started getting me back on my game. And the goal here is not to completely stop drinking just because I feel I am control of my mind. I have the control of my mind. So if I could cut myself and control it, then I think that says more about my mental strength and my security with myself than stopping completely, because then I have an addiction, you know, which I did. Yeah. You know, now I've cut back. I mean, I'm not going to say I don't drink. Sometimes I do go out, have, my minimum is 4. So I'll go out, have 3 beers, and I'm done. I'll go out, have 2 drinks, I'm done. That's it. But it's not compared as to what I was in September, like last month, 2 months ago, right? Last month? Yeah, month and something, whatever. Yeah. So then, yeah, September, I was just Monday to fucking Saturday, just partying, drinking, whatever. Thank God, no drugs. Drugs have been have been clean for like about 9 years. So
yeah,
that's good. Yeah. So
I recently found out that alcohol is categorized as a drug.
Yes.
That's crazy. I didn't know that. I didn't know that's what a drug is, something that you become so dependent on. I don't know that was a thing. I thought drugs were something chemically made and stuff. But no, yeah, alcohol is a drug.
It is.
But I want to ask you, you said you grew up in a Christian household. Are you still Christian?
Yeah, I'm still Christian.
Okay, I just recently turned a Christian. But that's not the point I want to talk about. But
man.
I want to talk about more like what he's talking about with the journal
Yeah.
and like those small wins. What I've learned is I don't journal, but I do pray every day. I try to pray every day.
Yeah.
And when I pray, the way I pray is being grateful for the smallest things ever. And that's my type of journaling. And I think I don't know if you do the same, but like when you pray every day, to me, I could have the shittiest day, but then it changes your mindset and affirms you like, you know what, like it could be a lot worse. I could not someone always has the worst. But I have this in life. I have warm clothes on my back. I'm breathing good air. I have fucking 2 arms. I have fucking 2 legs.
Yeah.
I have all these little things, and it's kind of like I don't know if you agree with that. With like
No,
just
I
that.
definitely agree. I count my blessings. You know, like I woke up with air in my lungs. You know, I woke up to shelter, food, things I can, you know, like just health overall. You know, it's just not everybody who gets that luxury every day. You know, we're not guaranteed every single day. I work hospice. I don't know if you're familiar with hospice. No. So hospice is usually end of life care. You have 6 months or less to live. So I do visits to my clients. I check on their medications, make sure they're doing okay, make sure they're comfortable. You know, I've had a variety of people, and the one thing that people, you know, that they wish they had was more time. Obviously,
I fucking hate hearing that.
Yeah, because it's they regret not enjoying time. You know, things like that because we take it for granted. Life is so fast, we forget to sit down or sit back, look at everything, and just be okay. I'm okay with right now. You know, okay with this moment. So yeah, it taught me a lot being in that industry and stuff like that. And I wake up appreciate. I follow the fruits of the spirits. So I teach this to my kids too. It's love, joy, peace, patience, goodness, kindness, gentleness, faithfulness, and self-control.
That's a lot.
So yeah, so having it's 9. Obviously, it's just when you're doing something, you know, like when you evaluate a situation, like, you know, sometimes you can be a certain way. Like I used to get angry a lot. So, hey, I'm not being very loving, you know. Hey, I was short-tempered. Hey, I'm not being very patient, you know. So I would see those things and I would correlate the fruits of the spirit into my life in that aspect. So that I lived better. I appreciated things more, and I just overall level up as a person, you know. So a lot of little things help me level up like that, learning that, you know, obviously following the commandments and, you know, being true to the word as much as I can. We're human, you know, we're always going to be flawed, but it's just trying to be better every day. Like his thing is 1% better every day. I see it similar, you know, so obviously we could be better every day, you know, but we have to also be gracious to ourselves, or what's the word? We have to be more lenient with ourselves so that we know we're going to fail, you know what I mean? Because we're flawed. So I'm okay with that. I teach this to my kids too. It's okay. You're going to be better. My little boy's a wrestler, and he's always hard on himself. He's always like, oh, man, like, I suck today. You know, I didn't take him down. I didn't do this or that. I was like, it's okay. I hear all the good things that you did, you know, and what are we going to do next time? How can we reevaluate this situation? And, you know, just changing his mindset from like a failure and being so hard on himself to being like, okay, this is the steps I could do to be better. You know, there's a path, you know. So I live every day peaceful, you know. There's stresses, there's things. That's the one thing my wife will tell you about me, that I don't worry, and she worries for me because I don't worry. So she's like, you're not worried about it? I was like, no, I mean, whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. I have no control of everything around me, so I can only pray that things will be good. But so I try not to worry. But yeah, I mean, we see similar in that aspect, but yeah, that's how I try to be better as a person and stuff. So I try to my best to follow those commandments and fruits of the spirit and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I try to take it. I'm like, look, I might be religious, but take away the religious aspect. I'm like, just these guidelines to just change your mindset. Right. Like, are you talking about wrestling? It's like, yeah, it's all about perspective and what you see. Is like, you can see all the things you did bad, but why not focus on things you did good and be like, look, this is my strength right now. Right. Now let's focus a little bit on the weaknesses and improve that strength also. Like double tap on that.
Yeah.
And then it's so funny that you think that I've never had that in my mind, that gradual progression is weak. Because, like, I don't know, to me, I'm like, I've always understood it, like, 1% every day, just one thing every day. Do you think it was because you're just like, oh, it's so long that you're like, fuck it, I can do all that all at once?
Well, no. I've always been a believer of becoming 1% greater each day. What I thought was for like thinking that it was unnecessary was like the rituals that people do. You know? Like, for example, like you say, you pray, right, for your blessings, and you do the same. And for me, I never had that, no. So my wins, I would always just keep them here. It was like very, I don't want to say stoic, but I guess just more to myself.
Yeah.
Like just keeping it like, okay, today this happened, cool. This happened, cool. This happened, cool. This happened, cool. But the problem was that, like, for me, it was like the thought of just having you to do something structured. I felt that was a form of weakness.
Yeah.
Was, you know, a nicer way to put the word pussy.
It's so that's funny. Yeah.
But a weakness. And now doing it, it's like, you know, it's like it's slapping me back in the face. 'Cause, now I'm doing it and I'm like, oh shit, like it actually, you know, makes sense, right? But the belief of always becoming 1% greater has always been my thing.
Okay,
Like,
yeah.
I'm a big believer in Kaizen, which is it's a thing where it's like you know, a lot of businesses use it. People use it for like a way of living too.
No, wait, what is Kaizen?
And
I don't
it's
know what
just
that is.
like it's an ideology of like being 1% greater all the time.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a step, right?
Yeah.
Like a staircase. So today you did this. Cool. Awesome. I'm growing. I'm going up. Tomorrow, boom, you're a step closer
Yeah,
to
yeah,
the top,
I get
right?
that, yeah.
So similar to the compound effect,
Mhm.
that if you continue gradually up, you're always going to get there. You know,
Yeah.
you're always growing. But yeah, just I know. I mean, now I'm a little embarrassed for thinking that back then, because honestly, journaling has given me a different perspective on a lot of stuff. Like sometimes I'll post like things on Instagram where I'm like, hey, this is what I wrote on my journal over this,
Yeah.
over that, over this, over that. And it's just like I might get backlash for saying this, but it's for example, I'm pretty sure you heard of the what is it, the Arc Winter or the Arc Winter?
I kind of know. I feel like I know where you're going, but no, I've
No?
never heard of it.
So it's like a thing where like you see it on Lana. It's a trend that's happening like on TikTok, Instagram sometimes, where like it's when it starts getting, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but don't take my word for it. But I believe that it's when things start getting like gloomy, dark,
Mhm.
et cetera, then people take that time to better themselves.
Okay.
So they go into their man cave, girl cave, whatever, to better themselves, right? So to me, it's like when I was journaling about that, because I was even thinking of doing that, like, okay, I'm going to go quiet for a little bit. I'm going to use this time to better myself and not say anything, right? But then that's where I've always been a big believer of Kaizen, becoming 1% greater each day. So I'm like, okay, well, I don't like the idea that they're implementing this trend on people of just using a short season or a short timing to make you better
Mhm.
when you can just strive to be 1% greater each day.
Yeah.
That's it. And you could do that 365 days of the year. That's it. Instead of using that short little time.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
No, because I feel that, and this is a personal opinion, it feels that when you use just a season to do that, it's like what happens to the rest of the, the other seasons, the
Yeah.
other days, right? So now that's what I kind of like believe, like of like, I've always believed in 1% greater. Now I'm a huge fucking believer of like Kaizen, like, and I have it tatted on me too. So
Oh
Like-
shit! Is that a fucking like a thing?
this.
There's like like it symbolizes it.
Yeah,
Wait, the
so it's
skull or
Kaizen.
the skull or the things on the right?
So when I started getting sober, that's where I kind of added the memento mori, pretty much saying like eventually you're gonna die. You're gonna die no matter what, right? Everybody dies. The skull is just I love skulls, and then with the Kaizen, it's just a reminder that hey, eventually one you don't know when your time's coming, so why not perceive to be 1% greater each day?
Yeah.
So it's always a reminder of like, okay, if I'm having a low day, a bad day or whatever, it's like you said earlier, like a lot of people put more thought in negativity than positivity. So then this reminds me of like, okay, well, let's get up and take care of business now.
Did you mentally know to put it right here versus like on your back because you're like I'm gonna see this?
Yeah,
every
yeah,
day?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
So okay, wait. So you have journaling. I start praying. Do you have something that you do 1% better every day?
So for me, I pray too. So I pray every day, and just for me, it's what makes me better is the why. So thinking of my wife and my kids,
Sounds good.
So that's what pushes me. So like, why do I want to get healthier? My wife and kids. Why do I, longevity? I want to be healthy for a long time so I can see my kids grow up, grow old with my wife and all that. And then so just seeing that, and then it motivates me to like do better for them in life. To help them. It's hard for me to say no to them. Like, hey, they want this. Oh, I don't want it. Let's hold off for a little bit. This is like, no, I want to work harder so that I can afford things to get them. That's why I work so hard, to afford things for my family and be able to go on vacations and things like that. Because again, we're here for a short life. I don't want to be working, all the time and stuff like that. So they're a big motivation, why I move forward, why I keep pushing myself. So obviously for me, God's everything. God's first, and then it's my wife, and then my children. So that's my line of thinking when I wake up. It's first thing. And and my wife is my big why. She helps me with a lot. She's in the Bible it says, obviously the male of the house is the leader and the wife is the helper. Honestly, like people see that as like, why can't women be equal to men? We are equal to men. We just have different roles. Or there are equal. Well, women and men are equal. So my wife has been my big helper, and without her, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. So I give a lot of. He sees that too. He sees all the stuff. She like when we can't figure something out, we go to her. So funny. It's like it's more of a compliment calling her a helper than anything because she's smart. She helps us come up with things that we didn't even think about and stuff like that. The house is her domain, and I just, hey, what do you need for the house? It's your domain. It's your house. She's stay-at-home mom, and we also run she does the baking for our sourdough and everything like that we do. She does all these baked goods. She's the head of all that and stuff like that. I help her with all that. So, she's my biggest reason why I push forward. Just to see her happy. Kind of thing. So it's God, thankfulness for all that. My why, my kids, my wife, and all that, and then So that's what keeps me going.
Is it more of because have you ever heard of the saying like when I have this I'm gonna change? So when you had your kid, let's say your first kid, was it ever a thought of why like I have like you think about it, you're like the reason I'm doing this is because I have a kid, or is it more of a like there's no thought, like I just know I have to do it?
Yeah, no thought, no thought ever. When my wife announced that she was pregnant or told me she was pregnant, surprised me with it. I was like no, I have to. Yeah. I have to. There's no ifs, ands, or but. I have to figure it out. And then my wife was working at the time. She worked at a bank. She was like a manager at a bank. And I told her, once the baby's born, you're not going back. She's like, I'm gonna figure it out. And I did. I did overtime at my job. I did on call, meaning evenings and weekends. They would call me if they needed me, and I pretty much made her income plus for her to come home full time. So since 2021, she's been home. So she hasn't she hasn't had to work or anything. She's had the luxury of starting a few businesses and stuff like that, figuring things out. And I help her, and obviously I'm her number one supporter, financially and physically.
Like it's gotta work.
So yeah, so I mean, So it was a must, and that's what I feel like people should have kids. People like, especially young people like yourself and stuff. Oh, I'll have kids when I'm 30, 35. It's like, why? Like, grow up sooner.
Yeah.
Going back to biblical, I'm a biblical person. He knows that. We laugh about that, but I tell him, back then, biblical times, 18 years old was a full seasoned man.
Well, that's when we were like, fucking,
exactly. Yeah. People getting married, starting to have kids at 20. And all that, and now 30 was like 35 was like a well-seasoned, knowledgeable man, and now 30 is a new 20, you know what I mean?
30 is a new 20, I agree.
And then 20, 25 and younger is 18, 17, 16, so which is sad. That's why I'm all about pushing men to go forward. I want to see men step up to the plate. I want to see men, become men, And it's nothing against women. I think women are very powerful as well in their own way, in their own regard. But I think many women would prefer to do what they love versus having to work like a hard laboring job than a man. I think it's just obvious, It's biblical. I go by the Bible, so if anyone gets offended, talk to God about that one. At the end of the day, my wife and I try to fill our biblical roles as much as we can. And she's my main reason why, So right now it's us working for the kids, so they see work ethic, they see what a healthy relationship looks like and stuff, and then because we know we're gonna get each other back once the kids leave the house, you know. And they're my main motivation. It was just like oh, I have to.
No, I agree with you that I think people should have kids at a younger age. I mean, one, the population is going down a lot, and that's gonna affect the world a lot, like a lot.
Yeah.
And then two, I think of it like in two different ways too. It's like I think it's good to have kids, but I think it shows like let's say you have a little like we're men and we have a little girl. That's gonna change our whole perspective on how we treat women.
Right. Yeah.
Same thing if you're a woman and you have a boy, it changes just the way you treat men and stuff.
Right.
And I think people want kids. I think we just have the fear of like I can't financially take care of them. I'm not ready yet. I'm not mature enough yet. And I'm like, I think it's not. I don't think you're ever ready. I mean, you tell me, were you ever?
No,
really
you're
ready?
never ready. And that's the one thing. You're never ready to have kids. But I told him a lot, and I tell everyone that I talk to about kids, it's like it's definitely a level up. Society unfortunately says, oh, kids are a burden, and there's like even commercials like, well, the kids annoy me, or well, the kids do this. I'm like, no, man, kids are hard. I'll tell you that truth. Kids are hard. I have a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old back to back, which is crazy, and a 7-year-old. And kids are hard, man. Kids are very, very difficult, and you have to have patience. That's why I go back to fruits of the spirit. You have to have patience. And at the end of the day, once they're sleeping and after they give us all these headaches and stuff, we're like, man, it's so worth it.
Yeah.
It's so worth it. It's a level up. It's definitely a level up, and I feel like people don't get to see that. And now people are getting older and stuff, and not having kids and stuff. I was like, you should, man. It's amazing. Like I can't stress it enough, so definitely have kids if you're watching this. Get married first though.
Wait, you don't have a girlfriend or a wife?
Not yet.
Not yet? Oh,
Single
okay,
and lucky.
He's single, ladies. His number is
well, you know where to find him right here.
Y'all know where to find me.
he needs a church girl who reads her Bible.
Do you know what Turning Point USA is?
Yeah.
So I'm actually a part of that group.
Oh, really?
And so
nice.
And so I have a lot of friends who are democratic in my college. And I'm always like, because there's an event every December.
Okay.
And it's like everybody comes, like all the big speakers come.
It's like college kids, right?
Yeah, like Donald Trump Jr. comes and all that shit. And I'm like,
that's cool.
I tell them I'm going. They're like, why do you want to go? I'm like, because I'm trying to find myself a
church,
a country Republican Christian. And they're like, what the fuck?
That's
I'm like, hell yeah.
Have you met Charlie Kirk or no?
I've never met him. But the closest I got is this close.
That's
watching him
cool.
do a podcast right in front of me with Vivek Ramsamy.
Nice,
Yeah.
that's cool.
You know who Vivek is?
Yeah.
Bro.
He was one of the running mates to be president.
Yes.
So no, that's cool. That's my goal is to meet them, to be like influential enough to earn their time.
Yeah, bro, that'd be fucking amazing. Imagine you work out Charlie Kirk.
I know, man. Maybe
That'd
in
be
the class
crazy.
for them and stuff.
Vivek is actually really fit.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Bro,
yeah.
I seen him running a marathon with his kid, and I'm like, and then he got like a tight shirt on. I'm like, oh fuck, he's actually, he's actually like in good shape.
Yeah, and I'm glad we have what's his name, RFK now.
Oh,
the super in shape. He's gonna be in charge of our health stuff. That's what you need.
Did you see him at? I don't think it was Muscle Beach, but it looked like Muscle Beach.
Something
and he was
like
doing
that.
like an incline press without his shirt.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck?
He's yoked.
Bro, right? I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Bro, he's like what, in his 70s?
I think he's 60s. Yeah, 60s. He's older. I think he's in his maybe late 60s or something. Yeah. You think he's 70? I don't think he's 70.
He was born in 54.
Yeah.
So that would be 60 something. RFK Jr.
I wouldn't say mid 60s.
Let's see. I want to know though, cause
We'll see. We'll
70, literally 70.
Literally 70. So we're all kind of right.
Bro, that's still crazy. At 70, imagine seeing your grandpa fucking busting.
Dude,
like
that's the goal. That's
bitch.
that's the goal. And people can be that strong, Like there's ways to keep your testosterone levels up and get them up and stuff like that. So that's we study that a lot.
Do you think at his age he might be taking some TRT?
He might. He's really yoked. Unless he's been fit for most of his life. A lot of guys that are naturally big. There's some people are born naturally, bigger and stuff. Genetics, Unless his genetics kept them a decent size. Most older guys that look like that are on T. And we can go on a whole topic on T, but T's relatively healthy for you.
T is good. It's just how you use it.
Correct.
And at what age you use it.
Correct.
Because I think people, I see it a lot on social media. People in their 30s want to use T, and I'm like,
yeah,
you're not there yet.
There's both ways about thinking about it. Like some people like to use in 30s because at 30 now people lose like their sex drive, people lose like motivation and stuff, and that helps you.
But don't you agree that first let's look at your diet,
right.
let's look at your lifestyle,
yep.
let's
I
fix
do.
that and watch your test go up.
Yeah. We both agree on that. Is try to be natural much possible. Some people can't though.
I agree.
Some
Yeah,
people
but I
can't.
feel like it's I think majority is the
Yeah.
lifestyle and diet stuff.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. So yeah, I mean, and then definitely once you get older, your T cells obviously start dropping a lot,
Yeah.
and it's good to keep it up because it helps keep you strong, helps you keep you motivated, and just longevity wise, it helps you with a lot of benefits. So yeah, I'm not anti T. So but yeah, the steroid thing, I don't know about that.
Oh, you're trying to get into bodybuilding.
He thought about it at one point. I don't
I
know if he
thought
still
about it,
does.
For
Yeah. Well,
research purposes.
he's like, I wanted to be the guinea pig.
No, but no, I've been natural for bodybuilding.
Uh-huh.
I just feel that there's levels to it. So it's like if you're going natural, it's like obviously key points nutrition. It's always going to be your nutrition. No matter if, like, let's say you're an advanced bodybuilder, nutrition has to be on point. Like, you have to be careful with like the stuff you put in your body, because a lot of it, like let's say if you're on a few, like you have a stack, right? You can't be drinking, you can't be doing this, you can't be doing that, stress levels, so you have to be on point, especially when you're on gear. Natural, not so much. You could have like a little bit of a room to kind of like slack off, but if you're bodybuilding naturally, you have to be on point with your nutrition, especially with sleep, recovery. You know, a lot of people, how do you say it? Don't take sleep. They take sleep for granted, when sleep is better than this shit, right?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
100%. So it's the best pre-workout you could do. Sleep, get up in a good mood. Let's get it. You know, let's tackle the day. Same thing with like, you know, recovery too, you know? So yeah, being natty, you have to be on point with.
And that's also,
your diet.
you're saying the reason you're on, wait, are you saying when you're natty, you're watching your diet because you're on steroids? Or are you saying it because you're competing to bodybuild, which is why you have to watch your diet?
No, I mean, it's like anybody who wants to recomp their body, they don't necessarily have to be on point with nutrition. Everything in moderation. So let's say if I want to eat an In-N-Out today, I could go have myself a burger. And if I know I'm not training, because there's a difference between fitness and training. So training, you're training towards something, a competition,
Right.
a personal goal, whatever, right? Fitness is just physical fitness,
Yep.
whatever, right? So if you're training towards something, of course you want to make sure that you're feeding yourself mentally well and feeding yourself nutritionally well,
Yeah.
in order to help you get to that point, right? But then when you're talking about, let's say, endurance training, or you're talking about bodybuilding training, it's a total different
Oh, fuck.
hack
That's
on dieting. So
crazy. Yeah, that's
yeah.
crazy.
So with bodybuilding, I would say if you're training for bodybuilding, you're natty. I would say if your prep is out by like, I would say 26, 30 weeks, you still have room to slack off. But once you start getting towards that 16th week out or 12th week out, that's when you really want to lock in.
Yeah.
And be like, all right, I'm going to be 95% on point, and at least 5% you're bound to pick a little cookie and eat it, you know? But a lot of times you'll hear a lot of trainers on YouTube, bodybuilders, influencers, say like, oh, you know, you don't eat for the taste, you eat for performance.
I was going to tell you, Larry, I think Larry Wheels was the one that said
Yeah.
that, right? He's the video.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah.
Yeah, so, but yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's funny because, yeah, I forgot about that because I haven't been, not even just training, I just haven't been in fitness. But I remember once I started doing high endurance and running a lot more miles,
Mm-hmm.
I realized I felt better if I just ate anything. Like, I was still tight on my diet, like eating like straight, like no like fast food.
Mm-hmm.
But if I were to, like, let's say I ran 15 miles in one day, I would go to a party, I'd be like, you know what, fucking let me eat some nachos and some, like, a soda real quick.
Right.
And it would actually make me feel good.
Right.
But that's only because I'm doing, like, super high endurance, right?
Right.
Versus if you're doing something like, I don't fucking know, what's something that's the opposite of high endurance? Just trying to gain weight, I guess.
Bodybuilding, that's it.
Yeah.
Bulking,
Bulking.
or just walking,
Maintaining, I
anything
guess.
Maintaining, yeah. Because as a bodybuilder, like to me, like the thing that I find hard is I hate low intensity cardio. I hate being on the stairmaster. I hate walking an inclined treadmill. I hate it. I find it boring.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like I need a little bit of like intervals in there. So I try to hit intervals rather than that.
And just a straight, yeah.
Yeah, but it's a little more complicated. It's like, you know, because if let's say I'm on a deficit and I want to be, let's say I'm on a 500 calorie deficit, but I also want to be on a 200 deficit with my cardio calories, then I make sure that if I'm doing like a high intensity workout, or if I'm doing just any other type of like a Hyrox workout, the thing with that is that when you do a high intensity workout, it doesn't measure your calorie, the energy you're burning.
Okay.
Meaning, let's say, for example, and this is probably not accurate, but I would say, like, if let's say you're doing 30 minutes on a Stairmaster, right? You already know that whatever speed you put on that treadmill, that's how many calories you're gonna burn. So
Right.
it's already there.
Yeah.
As compared as if you do, let's say, barbell cleans, you go burpees, and you go for a 400-meter run, come back, do that same round for 3 rounds, you're possibly gonna burn 300 calories, 250 calories, depending, because it's all gonna depend on your effort
Yeah.
that
I
you're
agree.
putting. As compared as if you're just walking the same pace, you already scheduled those calories. So it makes it a little bit more complicated, and that's the reason why a lot of people say stick to low intensity cardio, because it's easier for the
It's direct.
person.
Yeah, you know how to calculate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
As
calculatable.
compared as to, for example, with me, I would consider myself like a hybrid athlete, just because I love resistance training. I love running, but I also am training for Hyrox because I coach it. So I like doing workouts like that.
Yeah.
So to me, it complicates it more, because it's like, okay, I got my resistance training, I got my diet, but let's say today I'm running long distance. So I'm going to try to balance my nutrition, my calories for this long distance run, or I'm going to adjust my calories for this high intensity interval training, and et cetera, et cetera. So it's a little more trickier that way. So, but otherwise, I would say, yeah.
What about you? So you hate the Stairmaster?
I hate the Stairmaster and I hate low intensity cardio, but
What the fuck?
what
do
can
you
you
hate?
do?
You gotta hate something. There's something that you hate. I know there's something that you hate.
I mean, I'm saying I'm hybrid athlete too, so I like a little bit of everything. Yeah,
Bro,
yeah.
Tell
Yeah,
me
we
why.
did a.
No.
Go
I
ahead.
was gonna say I have a friend that's bigger than me, and that motherfucker can
Yeah,
run, dog.
it's
He
crazy.
can run.
Yeah. For me, I think it's because I've been athletic since I was young. I started sports when I was like 3 or 4,
Oh, fuck.
and I
yeah.
played almost every sport: hockey, baseball,
That's fucking great
soccer,
yeah.
wrestling. I did for 7 years, and just like I just did a lot of everything. And my dad was a bodybuilder, so he started taking me to the gym at like 11. So we had to like lie to the gym. I had to tell them. I don't know if you remember Bally Total Fitness. It was
I've heard it.
it was before LA Fitness.
I've heard that word before.
Yeah, LA Fitness bought out Bally Total Fitness. So technically, right now, I still have a Bally Total Fitness membership
Oh,
that's
shit.
grandfathered into
The-
LA. So I only pay $10 a month.
What the fuck?
Yeah, because it's a grandfathered membership. So everyone that sees my membership is like, wow, like
What's your annual fee?
it's just I just pay $10 a month.
You
I don't
have
have
an
any
annual
fee. I don't have nothing.
Oh my god.
And I can go to any LA Fitness all over the world. $10.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he pays 45. So it's crazy. So so I was 11 when I got my first membership, and that's when I started getting shape. My dad started training me. You know, like we did low intensity. My dad was never high intensity. He did low intensity. We'd walk with the max incline on the treadmill, and then we would do either upper body, lower body, you know, core and you know, arms. We'd split it up. So I did that growing up, and then as I got older, I did HIIT workouts. So after my sports and stuff and wrestling and all that, I would do HIIT workouts, and then I'd go running. I did a couple of running clubs throughout my time too, and I love running. I don't like running long distance per se, but I like running like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 miles. I'm working on. We want to eventually do like a half marathon together, but yeah. So I like running, and I can keep going. And the good thing about me is I don't even know how. Well, I do know how because I train hard, but I can just keep going. Like I won't stop. Like I'll get dead tired and I won't stop. Like the last Hyrox I did, I'm not going super fast, but I'm not stopping.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So so that's where I do well, is not stopping. Just the mentality. I've always had the mentality like, okay, one of my wrestling coaches told me this: you can always do one more.
Yeah.
So like with push-ups, you can always do one more. With a clean, you can always do one more. You know, with a press or arm curls or whatever, you can always do one more. So that mentality, I just remember that right now too. When I'm running and stuff, like, okay, I can do one more lap. You know, I can do one more. I can do one more. So I would just keep adding one more, and then yeah. So that's my thing. So to find one I hate the most, well, lately we've been training. He's been on me on training and stuff because he's more of the power lifter and bodybuilder stuff. I've never gotten into that myself, and he's coaching me on that. So he's been pushing me to do like, so he'll do this. Like for me, till this day, it doesn't make sense. So we'll start with just the bars and we'll do 10 sets, right? So all right, now we're gonna do a working set. He'll have 45s on each side, and instead of doing 10. You're going to do 12 to 15. I was like, how am I doing more if I did 10 with the bar? And then he'll add more weight. Okay, still 12 to 15.
Jesus
okay,
Christ.
And then he'll add more. I was like, okay, still 12. I was like, doesn't the repetition go down you
I've
add weight?
never worked out like that.
So yeah, he kills me, but I've seen a lot of results. I was lacking on my shoulders. Now my shoulders are broad and stuff like that. So he's helped me a lot in that aspect, and I like it. He has, what's the word for it, to that kind of workout?
For what?
Adding weights and keeping the repetition.
Oh, so there's like you could do like drop sets, which is like take off weight.
Yeah,
And then
that's
you
drop
go
set,
into higher reps. But I like to do the ascending. So
but you're never lowering the reps though.
No, we're keeping
What
it.
the
yeah,
fuck,
yeah,
though?
yeah. Because I feel like I mean it's to me it's always been a mental thing. But then as his coach too, I know his strength and I know what he could put in. So for example, if I have someone new, I wouldn't go with the ascending route because I would totally destroy them, right?
Yeah.
So as a coach, my thing is not to hurt you, it's to make you better.
Yeah.
Right? That's why you hired me. That's what you're paying me for. Now, if I hurt you in the process, then I'm not doing my job. But that's how you learn your clientele. So you learn what they can handle, what they can't. Now with Erick, I mean, he's strong. I know he's strong. He's a wrestler. These guys are fucking strong. I mean, you do jiu-jitsu, right? I'm pretty sure you've done head-to-head with a wrestler, right?
Fuck, I fucking hate wrestling.
They
I
pin
hate
you
going
down?
against you guys. Dog, you guys are not even the strength, just the fucking, like, you guys are agile.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you guys have technique, and it's like, you already got a leg up on me on that.
Yeah, but yeah, like I know his strength, so if I didn't know he couldn't do that, I wouldn't put it on him. But it's just breaking that mental barrier of like, I can't do it. Perfect example. Yesterday, I was coaching at Banfield Athletics in Whittier, California. That's where we run our Hyrox classes. They were rep being out their one max rep for front squats, right? And I've always been a big believer, and I mean, you could probably see it too on YouTube with like from other athletes, that training is always harder than competition day, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can see that.
But mentally, it's like as soon as we step foot on the competition floor, it's those nerves killing us, right? So it's like that same thing when you hear that word 1 rep max. You're already thinking heavy. You're already thinking bailing out. You're already thinking, man, I got to hit. Last time I hit 365. Today, my 1 rep max has to be 375. I remember how heavy that was. And this and this and this. They're thinking about that moment, that negative moment, rather than thinking of all the progress they made within the few weeks leading up to that day, right? So yesterday, some people were like, oh, I'm not going to do it. I don't think I'm going to do it. I'm not going to do it. And I was like, look, guys, like, just shy away from that word, that 1 rep max word, and focus on the progress that you've made these weeks leading up to this day, and just go into the lift that day like that. Focus on the muscle groups that you've been working on and go into that lift. And then just doing that, a few ended up hitting their 1 rep max. And those were people that were not gonna, they're already thinking like, I'm not gonna do it. And those same people were the ones that hit that 1 rep max.
Bro, being a trainer is so crazy. Like, I want to hear both of what you guys answer this. But
Yeah.
I think training, I'm not a trainer, but when I try to train myself, to me, it's less physical warfare and it's more psychological warfare.
Yeah.
It's more all about here. Because I know this can get it done. Even if it's only, let's say I want to do 50, but I can only get 10 done. This is going to happen. But is this going to happen tomorrow?
Right.
That's the hard part. So
Right.
when you see a new client come in, skinny, fat, whatever, what do you how do you balance that, or how do you even approach that? Like when you're seeing like,
Yeah. So when I see someone like come in for the first time, I always see people hard on themselves or people stop a lot. I'm very graceful with them. I'm like, it's like, you're here. That's a big step, right? You're here, especially someone that doesn't work out at all and stuff. It's like, you're here. That counts. I've told many people that. And then people that push themselves, and there's people that like, oh, I hate burpees. I was like, you can do them. You do them well. And then, you kind of get to know the more years you train, the more you can read people and be like, okay, you can do more. You can do more. At the end, they're like, thank you. I didn't think I could do it, But it's just being a communicator. That's what we're big on, is communication. That's the thing we feel like a lot of boot camps, a lot of gym coaches and stuff, they don't communicate with the people. So we actually, we love any programming that we do. We love when people get results. And we just started several months ago, and we already have people getting a lot of results. And it's all through communication. We go the extra mile to communicate. So big on communicating and gauging where people are at, modifying accordingly. Some people can't do full burpees, so you modify. Some people can't do a certain weight, so you modify. So we're big on modifying, but we're not. We're also going to push them. We're going to push them to the next level. We're going to push them to do more, another one. I'll do another lap. And they're like, you see their faces, but at the end, they're like, do it. I do a boot camp with a bunch of older people. And I want to push them. It's like, I want you guys to do a Hyrox. Hyrox is a competition thing. It's pretty challenging. So it's like, no, one never does it. They're like in their 50s, late 40s, 50s, and some of them early 60s. I'm like, you guys can do it. The other week, I had them do 20 burpees in a row. And for them, they've only been doing 5. It's like, you guys can do it. And they all did it under like 3 minutes. I was like, what'd I tell you? You know what I mean? So for me, it's communication and making sure you kind of see everyone, and like you kind of, have the discernment to, okay, this person's at that level. They can do this. This person's at that level. They can do this, and modifying accordingly and just, that's it. I mean, that's my way of doing it. That's the way that I've been helping people, and I've been seeing a lot of results that way. What about you?
Yeah, how do you gauge it?
So same thing. I mean, I compliment the fact that as soon as they even think about the thought of like, okay, I need to start this journey, that's already like a win, right? So you always want to let them know that, even on bad days, hey, you know what happened the day you came in, like the first day you came in, like, you were unsure about it, but now you're here. Let's think about all that, right? So I feel, as a coach, I've always been very empathetic of like their mood, their day, like how their day goes and all that stuff, because psychologically, that's where it hits when it comes to the workout. Because like you said, you could hit the workout, you could do the movements, right? But if you're not fully here, what happens? You're not within the moment. Like, you're not in the moment of like wanting to lift. You're not in the moment, So I feel that, going back to your question, like when someone steps in the room and skinny guy wants to build muscle, and what was the last thing you said? Like,
or fat, like just skinny or fat. Like, how do you gauge the, like, because every client is different. So it's
right.
Like, what do you prioritize versus like one or the other, the psychological or the body?
So I mean, before that, like, I mean, when you start with a client, obviously is assessing the client, see how they move, like if they need like to work on range of motion. Obviously, when you talk to them, you build rapport, and then you kind of sense where they're at. Now, not every client's gonna be open with you about what's going on. Like, hey, I fucking do this outside of fitness. Not everybody's gonna do that. It's like building that rapport, right? But once you start getting into the client, it's like, I mean, as a coach, you have to take the lead no matter what, because they're hiring you for that reason. So as you assess their body, you obviously give them like a Parky question where it's like, do you have this? Do you have that? Do you have this? So it kind of gives you a background of them.
Wait,
right?
what is that though? Like, can you?
So
yeah, what are the questions you're asking them?
So it's kind of like, oh, how's your mood?
Okay.
What are your stress levels?
Okay.
Or what do you find? What time of day do you find your day being like stressful? Or what brings you stress? How's your sleep? How's it? So you, from all that, you kind of get a background of like, okay, this person doesn't sleep very much, so he might be moody. When he comes in training. What's your type of work? Oh, you do construction, or you do you sit on the computer all day, but you only slept 3 hours. oh man, like, you know, you have to kind of like match that energy
Yeah.
too. You know, sometimes they're gonna come in tired, they're gonna come in like moody, they're gonna come in not wanting to do the work. But then you as a coach, you always have to be on point because you're there to up them, not bring them down, right? To make them better. But you always have to match their energy. So for example, like if someone only slept 3 hours and they're stressful and they had a bad day at work, they're coming into work, you're not going to make that person do, hey, you're going to deadlift, 200 pounds today. And we're going to, you're going to use a lot of energy and stuff like that. When you already used energy at work from all that stress, I'm not going to have you do that. So if that person comes in and it's like, hey, I'm feeling so-and-so today. Okay, don't worry. Like, let's do a little stress management. Let's focus on a little bit more conditioning to kind of like lower your, mood, your stress levels down. And then we'll see how you feel, After they say like, okay, I feel a little bit better. Hey, do you want to lift a little bit heavier today? What we got scheduled on schedule? Or do you want to take a different route? And as a coach, you always have to be on point where like, if this doesn't work, you have to have a plan B.
Do you think
if that answers your question?
No, it was more of a thought question. It was just like, what are your thoughts? But do you think it's possible to train someone and not care about how they feel? Because for me, I would rather have a coach tell me, fuck your feelings, fuck how you feel, do this shit right now. That's my type of training. That's who I like. But I get why we're being empathetic. But do you think it's possible to say fuck all that empathy? You're coming in to train. Do you think it's possible to be a trainer like that?
I mean, through your questions and as a coach, you're going to find your niche, right? Like you got coaches that are tough shit.
Oh, interesting.
Come on, baby. Come on, pick that shit up. It's like you see, I'm pretty sure you've seen some Instagrams where they do like a camp. Where like they go.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I've seen those. Yeah.
So and they talk shit and then they make them feel like they degrade them, right? And then so then there's coaches like that, right? There's other coaches that are more holistic, which is my approach. And there's coaches that are like, more of like, okay, I don't give a fuck. Just come in, get the workout done. Stop being a little bitch and let's get to work. That's it. That's another style of coach. To me, I mean, personally, I'm not going to judge anybody's approach. But I feel it all comes down to the coach, like who you want to work with. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
So, for example, through your questionnaire, if I've seen some questionnaires where like coaches say like, hey, do you like being yelled at? Or, hey, do you like being, you want me to be hard on you? Or, hey, do you want me to take the holistic coach approach? So if obviously a person clicks like, oh, I want you to be hard on me. Okay, then that gives me the window.
Yeah,
it opens
I
up
see.
the window for me to be an a-hole, right? But I feel that if you're coming in to lose weight, if you're coming in to, especially with fat loss, right? Fat loss is the best thing to do is be stress-free, right? Because being stressed is the number one killer of everything. It stalls a lot of stuff. So if I'm specializing in fat loss, I'm not going to talk shit to my client and be like, come on, you fucking pussy, do 400, lift that bar, do a deadlift, a 400 deadlift, And I'm not going to do that because then it's going to put pressure on him.
Yeah,
and he's going to be stressed from work, didn't get sleep, and then I'm pushing him. That's going to stall his fat loss.
Yeah,
right?
I see what you're saying.
So I personally don't like that approach, but each coach through their own,
I see what you're saying.
So I think that's...
So what kind of style do you like coaching? Would you rather?
I would say holistic. So it's
More like empathetic and
more empathetic, more of a motivator. If I was able to coach baseball or football, fuck, I would love that because it's like, you could use your life experiences and kind of like motivate people
Yeah, I see
through
what you're
that
saying.
because I feel I saw your last podcast with one of the
Which one?
thing with the last one you did.
Oh yeah,
The
Eric.
last one you
It
did.
was Eric
Eric.
Mulliner.
Yeah, where you say that you started doing the podcast because it's like you listen to people's
Stories.
stories, and the cool thing about that is that even though everybody has a different story, everybody's relatable,
Yeah.
right? But then again, not everybody's open about that.
Yeah.
So I feel that through life experiences, it's always good to kind of like you're able to motivate, people. So for me, like when I go like through hell, or I have like talking about alcoholism and all that stuff. Now it's like, okay, I know how it feels to be an alcoholic. If someone wants to kind of, get out of that, fitness has been a huge thing for me. And if you want to talk fitness, I could talk that shit for hours.
Yeah.
And some people always tell me like, dude, shut the fuck up. Talk about something else.
Yeah.
But I love fitness,
Yeah,
man.
I'm with you guys on that. I'm with you guys on that. I'm with you guys on that shit.
So in that case, it's like, yeah, so it's just like, I feel I would go with the holistic style of like being empathetic, because most people are not there either to lose weight sometimes. They're more there for like mental reasons.
Yeah,
as well,
yeah,
too.
yeah.
So that's my approach.
Let's take it to you now. What do you?
Therapy, right? Like therapy. I think fitness is a great therapy. You can get people out of a lot of problems. My approach, right? Approach to training. I mean, I'm hybrid. I'm hybrid. I don't like to be too holistic, because you got to push people too.
Yeah.
People are very naturally lazy, so you got to push people. So I feel like I'm in between. I'm very. I always get the words mixed. Empathetic or sympathetic? Empathetic.
Sympathetic, you've been through it. Empathetic,
Empathetic.
You feel it, but you haven't been through
Yeah,
it.
I'm very empathetic with people. So I like to okay, I understand where you're at and stuff like that. So and I again, same thing how I modify workouts for people and stuff. I also modify my tone and the way that I am. Just for certain people. Some people are more sensitive than other people, obviously. And some people don't like to be yelled at. Some people do. So yeah, I think he's kind of like that too. Because with me, he pushes me.
He's like, I'm not being fucking empathetic with this one.
Exactly. So like he'll like. Remember I was telling you when you were asking me what I like the least is the that compounding workout. I'll say, bro, you expect me to do this more? I'm like, you killed me in the last one. You're supposed to drop the sets. He's like, just freaking pick it up, dude. And I like it. I laugh. It makes me crack up, and then I get right to it because he knows I can do it. He knows how strong I am. So he's like, you can do it. You can do it. So
But that's where you build a rapport, right? That's where you build a rapport with like your client.
Yeah.
Right. And then from there you get like that. I guess that fuck. What's that word?
Like diagnosis of what he is.
No. Like that. That kind of like it opens that door to be a little bit.
Oh yeah,
you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like So it's like it gets you comfortable.
Yeah.
Being there. Obviously, if the client doesn't like that, they'll tell you. Yeah, you'll have clients tell you, "Hey man, like, calm your ass down. Don't get there." But some of the clients, once you hit that like comfort level, they like being pushed. But obviously,
I find a lot of success with a lot of things is a discernment, right? Making good choices about what you see in the situation, reading the situation, right?
Wait. Sorry. What does that mean, discernment?
Discernment, like when you have good decision making, you have good. I don't know the exact definition, but like I discern that this drink is not the best, healthiest thing for you. You know.
Okay, so would you say again with discernment? Rephrase that.
So like with I feel like you find a lot of success with having good discernment with anything, like with fitness, like okay, should I go out to that area tonight even though that happened yesterday? Maybe not, and then something happens that night.
Okay,
so I made a good choice,
Yes,
versus like just having well-rounded discernment with that. So same thing with fitness. As a coach, I some people I push harder, some people I don't push as hard because I read it. So sometimes I'll see someone like I'll push them, and they won't do anything. So okay, so they don't like that. So I'll go to them, hey, how would you like do you want modifications? Yes, please. Can you modify down? Okay, of course.
Interesting.
Just modify
really?
down. Yeah. So you have to have good decision making. You have to have good keep your eyes open and stuff like that. A lot of what he was saying too. So I come from sports, so obviously I'm a lot of the get up, keep going, kind of thing. So I'm like that with my boys too. Like for me, I have high expectation for my boys. They're 3 and 7, but I obviously modified to their age. I make sure that it's age appropriate the way that I'm talking to them. So I like to explain a lot of things to them, and I've seen a lot of fruit from that because my boys know how to explain things. Like my 7-year-old compared to other 7-year-olds, he speaks clearly and he knows how to express himself. And other 7-year-olds are like still talking like babies and still running around like, he's logical, because I communicate with him. I'm training him to be a man. And same thing with my 3-year-old. He's good at decision making. He knows when something's not right. He'll come to me if he, like that. So it's just coaching all around. So that's in a sense, that's me coaching my kids. But yeah, just having good discernment, making good adjustments. When you talk to people and stuff, and all that. So that's my way of doing it. Is having a having a way of like reading the room kind of thing, reading the person, I guess. Okay, this person is like this. This person I need to be hard like you. I need to yell at you. You know,
Yeah.
like you like when someone's like, "Put get that up." You know,
Yeah.
like I can do that. And same thing with someone's like not as much. Like, okay, so you got it. Give me 2 more sets. You can do it. Push it. Come on, you got it.
I think
so
I started laughing. You started laughing. Like, come on,
you're like,
dog.
all right, I'm done. I'm done. I need a new coach. So obviously you get to know the person. That's why he says rapport is important, because I believe when you have rapport with someone, you have that, you know, that communication where they're open to talking to you and expressing themselves. You know, like when you first start off, they might not open up, but as time goes by as their coach and you're actually asking them questions like the list he had, and checking in with them weekly, that's important. He checks in a lot. And I check in with my clients as well. So checking in with people too is important, because that shows that, oh, he's actually on me. You know, like he's actually cares about my results.
Yeah.
Versus which a lot of coaches, they just want to pay. You know, like, oh, just give me 6 week sessions, and then you come or don't, doesn't matter to me. You know, kind of thing, where we actually care. So.
Have you ever had a client walk off on you in the middle of a workout?
No, I've never had that. I don't know. He's been coaching a lot longer than me, so I don't know. But for me, no, I can't say that. I've had people tell me that they can't do something. It's like, can I do something else?
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes I'll modify if they give me a good excuse. Like,
Is there really ever a good excuse?
They have an injury, maybe, or
Okay. I mean,
or
that okay, right? There's that. But besides that, like, is
or
there really a
like
good excuse?
pain. If it's a lot of pain, like it's really painful to do it a certain way. Like
How do you
this
gauge-
hurts.
Yeah. How do you gauge that? Because sometimes
Yeah.
it is bullshit. Sometimes it is
yeah,
bullshit.
it is. I mean, I don't like to call people liars, you know, even though a lot of people are liars. But I'll ask them too. I'll be like, hey, does it really hurt when you do this? You know, they'll be like, yeah, it hurt, and then they'll be, okay, cool, it really hurts him. And if they give me something else, I was like, try to do another one. Try to do it this way, and we'll modify the way we do it, but I'll still make them do it.
Yeah.
So, but a lot of the times when they do that, they just don't want to do it.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and we know that. So, yeah. So that's my way. It's questioning. It's just questioning it. But at the end of the day, it's the client. It's what they want, you know. So I try to, you know, kind of play with it. Like obviously, I know what's best in this specific realm. So I push them, and most of the times, once you push that little pushback, they'll go through. Okay, I got it, and then they'll feel better after. They hate going through it, but after they're like, oh, thank you.
Bro.
That's what you need a coach for, right? What if I don't think I'd be a good coach if I didn't let them, like, okay, let them get away with everything, you know? Okay, go ahead.
No.
Okay, do that. Okay, that's fine. Good workout today, you know? So there's been times where I've told people like, hey, today wasn't the best. He's like, so we need to work on these things. You need to work on these things, and then, you know, like, and they understand and they appreciate that. But yeah, what about you?
You ever had a client walk out on you middle of
I've
session?
had a couple.
Really?
I've had a couple.
What
I
the
mean,
fuck
it
happened?
happens. I mean, you're not always gonna be. I mean, starting off when I was barely like a newbie, or just getting my feet wet into like training, people could tell if you know your shit or no. So at the time, I was like, sure. I was trying to get my foot wet in the field, because that's how you start. Like any trainer that starts is always gonna have a client that's gonna be like, you know what, 2 sessions in, they either ghost you, or during the session they'll be like, hey, you know what, I gotta actually leave early. It's like a date, right? You gotta leave early, and then they leave, and then a lot of times that's how they fire you, like ghosting you. So I've had my share.
But have you had someone walk out on you in the middle of a session?
Just like that, like, hey, I gotta be somewhere, so
But they've never. Okay. I see
but
what you're
they've
saying.
never
But
told me like, hey, you suck, or like, no. I mean,
That's crazy.
yeah. I mean, I've had like when I used to teach group classes sometimes. Again, while I was like learning, you know, I always thought that intensity was the main thing. Like, go hard, kill them in the workout. And I've had people walk out just being because like, damn, dude, like your class is so fucking hard.
Yeah.
Right. But then obviously as you learn through the years, like then it's like, okay, it's not always about intensity. It's always about making them feel good, get a good workout here and there, poke them a little bit, you know, give them that little extra like challenge of a workout. And yeah, that's it. But I mean, I guess when I started, yeah, I had people like,
Walk out on you.
yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
And it's awkward, but it makes you better. I think like that's why they say like failure is the best coach to everything. Cause like,
Are you talking about for yourself or for the client?
Oh, for myself.
Yeah, for yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for
I think it's good to
myself.
be in all the situations.
Yeah.
So that way you get comfortable when it
Mhm.
happens again and it
Oh, yeah.
arises and you're able to read the room.
Exactly.
When
yeah.
they were walking off on you, you never thought about being like, Are you really like?
No, because it doesn't go through your head. Like, it doesn't, like, it's just like, oh, okay, he's leaving. I'll see him tomorrow. That's it. The next thing you know, you're checking in. Hey, man, we're supposed to see you at 6 p.m. Hey, we're supposed to see
How
you at
much
5
do you
p.m.
guys push on that? Like, once you see a client not coming anymore, and they're still maybe paying for that rest of the month or something, like, how much do you guys reach out before you're like, oh, okay, like?
I feel bad. Like, if they don't show up, it's like you're paying me to, to get better, A lot of times for me, like, I don't. Obviously, you got your policies that you give them to follow, and it's up to them, right? Because you have to kind of have them read the policies. No, I feel bad, Like, I mean, when they don't come in, like, I always check up on them. And sometimes I tell them, like, hey, I'm going to be worse than your boyfriend or girlfriend. I'm going to be on you, right? To make them come in. And like I said, like Eric said, sometimes people need that extra push.
Yeah.
So sometimes, like, when I've had people that, like, they paid and I never hear from them again. Even though I'm emailing them, texting them, nothing. So then I'm like, what do I do with this money? So I feel bad charging for that. So what I do, I'm a very huge giver. So I take a portion of that money and then I give it to charity.
Oh, that's nice. Okay,
so I do
dope.
that. That
that's
way I'm like, okay, well, at least I keep some of, like, the money for the effort, but the rest I'll try to push it out to somebody.
I'm a big believer in, like,
so
I think it's called karma.
Karma.
Like, I think I would be like, you were like, fuck, I gotta do something at least with half of this money to fucking, so it doesn't bite me back in the ass.
Yeah. And, but yeah, I guess that's my experience with, like, people walking out. Otherwise, now, not really. Now it's like, I'm on people, like, come in.
Okay, wait, so you need to explain to me again. What the fuck is Hyrox?
Hyrox.
Explain it from, like, the start, because I still don't, you're kind of talking to me about it, but I don't understand.
So Hyrox, it's like, so just to start it off, like, Hyrox is it's a conditioning sport, right? It's meant for beginners, seasoned athletes. It's an outlet. One of the guys that I follow on Instagram, his name is the Hybrid Raccoon. He made a good point where he says a lot of people, and I'll explain what it is, right? But I love what he said. He said that, like, a lot of people see him as a beast on the field, but he actually found a sport he's actually good at because he's a good runner. So Hyrox is a conditioning sport. Like every other thing, everything has its own specificity, right? Like if you like barbells, you're not going to do Hyrox. CrossFit, et cetera, right? But anyways, to answer your question, Hyrox is mostly like a conditioning sport. You have functional training within the race. So it's 8 kilometers. You do 1 kilometer and then 6 miles, and then you go into the functional movement that you're gonna do. So it starts off with the ski erg. It starts with the rower. It goes into the sled push, sled pull. You got broad jump burpees. Then you go into kettlebell farmer carries. You go into walking lunges, and then you finish off with wall balls. So it's all movements that you pretty much do on a daily day, day of activities. And it's very functional. So everybody could do it. It's light on the body. You don't have to do a lot of overhead stuff. The only overhead stuff that you're pretty much doing is the ski erg, obviously, as you're raising your arms up, and the wall balls. That's it. But it's all functional. The thing that gets challenging is just the running, because it's very comprised. So you go from a run right into the workout, and that's where you have to focus, like, on the training. So
I don't know if I could do that. I'm used to working out and then running.
And then running.
That's what I do. Yeah, I work out and then run.
Yeah. So
Or I used to when I used to work out.
So Hyrox, the reason why we got into it, me personally, is just I used to be a huge runner in high school. I used to do long distance and I used to do track. Once I started barbells, see you later running, never again, right? But then what I loved about Hyrox is that it just got me back into running again. And it made me a better athlete, and it made me a better strategist in how to combine conditioning and functional at the same time. It's like dope. Strength and conditioning.
Yeah.
Except that
I think it's a lot more conditioning.
It's more conditioning.
Yeah, I think it's a lot more conditioning.
So I saw a post like on Instagram too that I really loved. It talks about the different distributions of the different sports, right? You got CrossFit, you got what's trending right now is hybrid training, and then you got Hyrox. So with CrossFit, you got a little bit of everything, right? You got like Olympic weightlifting, powerlifting, you got watts, you got a little bit of conditioning, a little bit of everything, right? Then you go into hybrid training, which is mostly, it could be power building, which is powerlifting with resistance training in the mix. And then you take another day to focus on long runs, short runs, intervals, etc. So it's that. There's no comprised work with it, right? And then you go into Hyrox, which is 80% conditioning, volume work, and 20%, maybe 25% of like whatever you want to bring into the mix.
Yeah.
Barbells, resistance training, watts, etc., etc. So that's why I love Hyrox. It's very open for everybody, and I'm a huge believer that strength is for survival and conditioning is for longevity.
Okay, wait. I kind of want to bring you into this now. Why Hyrox over everything he just said? Every other one.
So for why we chose Hyrox to be one of our main things. I mean, we do more than Hyrox. We're a programming company. But why we do Hyrox is because we feel like it's just all around health. You know what I mean? So like conditioning. I mean, that's good for you every day, you know, like getting around. Like sometimes people get up and they have heavy breathing. So like when you condition, it's good for you. And then it's also, it's a little bit of everything. Like it's hybrid. It's almost, I think every athlete can do it. I don't think every athlete would like it, but I think every athlete can do it because I think it was a sport made for everybody. For everyone to be able to come in at different levels, and then your only competition is yourself. There's real competition for time wise, but it's getting it done. And when the reward you feel after you get it done, it's like, man, I did it. So it's like nonstop, like he's saying, compromised workouts. So it's like running a workout, running a workout, running a workout until you're done. There's 8 full workouts, and there's running in between each. There's no stopping. So you can stop if you have to. You can take your break. But for me personally, I felt like it was like, I like this. It's overall because you have to be strong to do it because the sled push is heavy. You have to have some form of strength. You don't have to be the strongest. You just have to be strong enough to push the sled decently. Wall balls, it's about 14 pounds. You have to be strong enough to do 100 wall balls. Sled pull, you have to be strong to pull those sled. It's about 200 something pounds. So you have to have some strength. You have to have conditioning, cardio, obviously. You have to have a strong core to be able to push the sled, to keep doing the wall balls and things like that. So you have to have a well-balanced fitness level, well-balanced. You can start off very at a beginner's level and still compete in it and still complete it. And then as you grow, you see where you need to work. Like, obviously, our first ones was, okay, this is what I struggle with. So, like, for my first Hyrox, I went in not knowing how it was. I know what I was going to do. I didn't know. I cramped at one of the sandbag lunges, and I could barely move. So I'm like, oh, man, because when you cramp. You can't move anything. So I was like, oh, gosh. So I would have to stretch myself in place because you can't get out of your place. So you have to be there. So I'm literally looking like I'm marching, because you have to do lunges with the sandbag, and I'm marching trying to get that cramp out. So I learned, okay, let me do more lunges in my workout. Let me do more burpees in my workout. And let me do more conditioning because I felt like I was not conditioned. The second time I did it, I did a lot better. And I worked everything. I didn't cramp at all. And so you also learn more about your physical, what your physical capabilities, So okay, I cramp if I do too much of this. Or I gas out if I do too much of this. So it kind of tells you where you're at too. Like we do PFTs, which are physical performance tests, right? Or some fitness tests. So we do those as well, which Hyrox does host for us at our gyms. And it's like a 30-minute workout or less. You have to beat the time to get a certain level. And it tells you where you're at fitness level. That's why I like Hyrox, is it tells you where you're at. Like, okay, you're a beginner. Okay, you're in the middle. Okay, you're advanced, And it gives you space to work on where you're at and stuff. And at any level could do it. I think we saw one of the Hyroxes we did. We saw like a 70-year-old man finish it.
Oh shit!
Yeah, everyone was cheering for him. And I mean, we've seen, I think, someone in a wheelchair do it.
Wait, what? How the fuck are you doing that?
You're rowing yourself the whole time, and then you modify. They allow for modifications for certain disabilities.
Yeah.
And stuff. And I mean, I was either wheelchair or crutches. I forget.
The one in Anaheim, the last one we did, there was a guy crutches. He finished it.
Yeah.
I think what I love about Hyrox too, now that he's talking about that, they have an adaptive.
They work with what?
Yeah, and then now they're also, I saw that they partnered with this this place called Gigi's Playhouse or Gigi's Playhouse.
Okay.
Gigi's or Gigi's. And what I loved about it is that they brought in a Hyrox workout for people with like Down syndrome to
Oh shit.
do it. And when I saw that, I love that. I was like, oh man, like this is cool because I'm pretty sure. I mean, we know all this, right? Like, let's be real. Like, when have you seen someone with Down syndrome at a gym working out?
No, never. I've
When
never
have you
the Down
seen,
syndrome
yeah,
person, no.
anybody like even at gyms? No, right? I mean, I know
never
I
seen,
haven't.
yeah, I've never
you
seen
know?
one.
So to me, for them to bring that to them, to me, it's fucking awesome.
That's dope. Yeah,
It's
that's dope.
dope, man. You know, because I feel like, why do we have to marginalize them when they
Mhm.
could be, you know,
Doing
it's
it, yeah.
good for them, you know? So, yeah, that's my thing with that.
Wait, so Hyrox is it's a competition, right? Like someone's trying to win?
You can. It's both. It's like Spartan. So people try to win, try to beat times, and then other people just try to do it for their own health or start in their fitness journey or things like that. So it's like any other like Spartan race, Tough Mudder. It's similar to that, but it's way different of a. It's actual real workouts. Whereas Tough Mudder and Spartan race can have things that are just look cool.
Yeah.
Like jump off a cliff, land in water, or like climb a wall and stuff like that. This is actual functional workouts. Like he was saying, like, wall balls, you're bending down, you're coming back up, standing up, it's standing up, Pulling is like you're pulling something at home, you're taking the trash out or something like that. And pushing, you're pushing something, stroller or whatever it may be when you're older, stuff like that just helps you stay functional too. We've had older people that we train that have seen so many results. They hated running. They were terrible at it. Now they're doing almost 8-minute miles, and they're in their 50s. You know what I mean? And they really enjoy our programming and stuff. So that's what we see. We had a bigger vision for Hyrox. It was Hyrox and the mindset behind Hyrox as well. That has to provide. So that kind of started our kind of journey together and doing the competitions together and stuff like that. So that's our big reason.
Do they adjust weights on body types? On body weights?
No, so they have men's and women's divisions, or they have you could do doubles as well. So you could do doubles male or doubles co-ed, male female. So with that, it's if you do co-ed male and female, it's all male weight. So the male weight, I think it's like 340 something pounds for the sled push. Both have to do that.
What is it, like 4 plates?
4 or 5, something like that.
plates? Like 5?
Their plates are different. They're like 55 pounds, I think.
Oh, they have. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have never seen that before, but they have 55-pound plates and stuff. So, a few plates, and the sled itself weighs about 100 pounds. So you do that. I mean, they don't modify it much. I don't think they only have the basic, and then they have the pro, which I think is like 500 pounds sled push.
God.
Yeah, and then they have. I don't think they have the vest one anymore. They used to have one where you can wear a 20-pound vest. While you do
That's fucking
the
even
yeah.
tougher.
So they modify. So the lowest is obviously what it is, and then you can modify up, or join a Go Ruck or a what's it called, pros, competition, which is a lot harder.
How are they pulling?
So-
Do you have a waistband for the sled when you pull? Or
No.
is it all hands?
You use all hands. So it's a
fucking
battle
tough.
rope. It's like a battle rope that you do battle ropes at the gym and stuff. It's like one of those, and you just pull it. Yeah, you gotta pull it towards you, and you're only in the little box too, so you can't leave the box to pull it. So
Wait,
it
what do you
has, because some people go all the way to the actual sled,
Mm-hmm.
and they walk back, right? So this, you actually have to stay, like the sled is several feet in front of you, and you have to stay in the box and actually arm straight
Oh, you're
pull
pulling it. Oh,
Mhm.
it's not a. I thought you were pulling with your legs.
No, it's all
Oh, tricep and
it's
back.
all upper body pulling, core, pulling it
Oh,
back.
that's
yeah.
fucking tough. Though I thought it was pulling because do you guys know knees over toes?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know knees over toes?
No, knees over toes. I know he does.
Well, cause he's a big. It's a
I
big
think he
thing.
said knees over toes.
Yeah, like your knees.
Oh, it is. Okay, I thought it was saying a name now. Okay, no,
Yeah.
okay.
That's one of the main exercises for jacked up.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, and so his big thing is putting the waistband. That's why I was asking if they put the waistband versus pulling with your hands.
Gotcha. Yeah. No, it's all arm, full arm workout.
Oh fuck, I'm tired of
pulling.
No,
Yeah.
that's fucking tough.
Sled push is arm, core, and legs. You can use the sled push. You can use your legs. That helps a lot. Yeah, it's all functional, functional movements and conditioning and cardio and stuff like that. So we enjoy coaching it, and we see a lot of people get a lot of good results from it.
Mm-hmm.
The people that are wanting to get to work for it, obviously. But yeah, that's
So
what
wait, so you don't know knees over toes?
No, I haven't heard of that.
You know knees over toes?
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I mean, it's like everything, you know. Like every coach has their niche.
You think it's true?
Uh,
There's no scientific evidence yet that he's gone through them.
I
But
mean,
he has himself that he's shown that it works.
I mean, I can only speak for my own experience. Like, I mean, I haven't really followed his programming. I mean, I've seen his programming. It's a lot functional. Little tweaks here and there, like with range of motion, which I believe everybody should go to their full potential with range of motion. But of course, like anything else, progressive, right? Like respecting your range of motion, progress. But I've never done any of his programs. I've never met friends or anybody who has done his program, so I can't really say much about it. But I know who he is. I mean, there is a lot of stuff that he uses that football players use, such as like the sled pull with the waist.
Oh, yeah,
saying low. That's really good for the knees. So I think sled pulls with the waist. I think I would use it with somebody who has like jacked up knees. When I tore my meniscus in jiu-jitsu. I couldn't afford to go to a doctor or pay for it. So I used resistant bands to strengthen the area, the surrounding muscles, right? So obviously I did like your regular, it's the extensions, curls, here and there, squats. Psychologically, I was scared to do squats, but I got past that. But I never got surgery.
Oh, what the fuck? You still have like a repaired meniscus just by itself?
Yeah. And it's good. Like I
had tore both of them.
You tore both your
I
meniscus?
told bore at a young age too. I told bore both. Left one I had surgery because it was I guess they said it was misshapen, my meniscus.
Oh.
So they had to reshape it. So luckily nothing was taken out. It was just there was more meniscus than needed to be. That's the part that tore. So that's good. The other one it tore, but he said it was such a small tear that it would repair itself, and it did. I was, for a while, the same as him, I was scared to squat. I was like, oh man, I can't squat, my knee hurts and stuff. But after I think like 2 years, I started squatting again, and then
that's my biggest fear, injury.
Yeah.
I've had a big injury, but I can't. So playing basketball, I'm a big basketball player. I played basketball all my life. I was wearing shoes, like running shoes. You know how they have those platforms? So you're not supposed to wear those during basketball because you can roll your ankle. And so I was doing moves, and I rolled my ankle so hard that, honestly, my ankle, like the bone, touched the floor.
ow.
And it came back in place, and I heard, but I was like, oh, like, it's fine. Like, nothing hurt. Like, nothing was hurting. It was fine. Started playing again. I did it one more time, and it came back in place. And again, I'm like, bro, like, it's doing it, but it's not hurting. And then my friend looks at me. He's like, hey, you're bleeding. I'm like, what? And I look at my leg, and my sock is just like a circle starts bleeding. And so I don't know if you've ever seen blood. That was the first time where I looked at my foot, and I thought I was gonna pass out. I was like, oh shit, like this is what it feels like to pass out. So I get to the hospital, and they ask me like, hey, did you get stabbed? And I'm like, why? Why do you say that? They're like, because you have 3 holes in your legs. Like if you got stabbed by like a pencil or something. Yeah. And I was like, no. And so whatever, I got they put a boot on me, and then I went to a doctor the next day, and that doctor that helped me the first time couldn't figure out what happened. Second doctor couldn't figure out what happened. Every doctor I had couldn't figure out what happened. What they think, everybody had a different thought, but the one that I think stuck out to me was there's a bone in between your ankle that's very pointy. And so what he thinks happened is the ankle rolled, that bone popped out of my skin, and then popped right back in place. And it's because I had no like tears on my bone or anything. That's not the worst part though. The worst part is, let me see if I can pull up my Instagram so I can show you guys, is my leg became so swollen that it started getting blisters because the blood had nowhere to go.
This guy works with that.
Wow.
Oh, so you've seen stuff like that happen?
Well, I've seen injuries and sores and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay, and so because that happened, they had to slice open the blisters so the blood can come out.
Yeah.
But once the blisters dried out, they had to peel them off. Ooh. One of my blisters was like 2 inches deep. Ooh, and so it looked like you guys aren't like. I was gonna say you guys don't want to throw up on this.
Stage 2 or 3. It went to your muscle.
You've probably seen shit like this.
I've seen sores to the bone.
Yeah, like
I've
that.
Seen a lot of that. Yep.
And so it led to that just from like a rolling ankle.
You clean a lot of that, right?
That's great. Yeah. I do a wound care. I do a lot of wound care.
So what is all that? Like, what is that? Like, where you see the little circles? What is that?
I mean, that's like the dead tissue. So like, I'm pretty sure they cut it off. like they cut pieces of off, like because that tissue is never gonna get healthy again. So usually they cut it off. It's just the surrounding skin.
And then this is still skin.
That's meat. So I think that's your.
That's
From
muscle.
what I can see here, that's muscle. Yeah. So you were at a stage 3. Stage
What
4 is bone. Stage 4, you're at the bone.
fuck.
You had a stage. It looked like a stage. That looks like a stage 3 sore. I have clients that have that on their backside. Because you're in bed for too long and you're skinny, the bone is trying to break through.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So the stage 1, it's a little red or pink. Stage 2, it's open skin. Stage 3, it's tore like a little bit of what's it called, muscle, and then stage 4 is bone.
Bone, yeah.
So like your bone is you can see it.
Oh,
So that
fuck.
you had that looks like a stage
3.
3. Yeah, that's crazy.
Bro, that shit was horrible.
It's all healed up now, I'm assuming.
So I'm at 100% when I work out, or when I used to work out, or even when I play basketball nowadays. But it feels like my funny bone. Like I can't feel anything, but if you move around it, it gets tingly.
Yeah,
That's very tingly.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
But-
that's a crazy injury, man.
I would rather have that though than fucking tear my meniscus though. I'll say that.
I would rather have torn meniscus than that for me.
Really?
What about you?
I didn't feel that shit.
What?
I didn't feel tearing it. Like I remember I was on top position, and then I just heard like a little tuk and like nothing. I got home. I got on my desk, started typing. As soon as I got up, that's when I felt like my knee just wobble and I couldn't move.
Yeah.
Took a shower. It started hurting, and then yeah, it hurt to
Dirty.
do your necessities. And then getting in and out of the car was the worst. Oh, man.
The meniscus that's part of the MCLs, right?
It's the tissue between your bones. So between your femur and your
Wait, so it's the
Your
tissue?
femur and
It's the
your-
tissue between your bones,
yeah, it's it's like right behind your knee, your kneecap.
but it's not the MC. It's not a ligament.
It tissue, yeah, some tissue. It's its own thing. Yeah, it's its own thing. So I don't really know. I haven't studied that part of it, but it's like it's the tissue between. All I can tell you is it's some people don't have a meniscus and it's bone to bone, and that's what keep that and the fluid that's in there and stuff keep you from, that
Yeah.
pain of your bones. Yeah, your bones rubbing being together and stuff. It helps. It's like oil, like
Like gel, like the little
right. It helps keep that area well maintained and stuff, so you can run, have mobility and stuff like that. And when it's bone to bone, it hurts a lot more. Obviously, some people are bone to bone, and it's more painful, more knee pain. Their flexibility is not as much because it hurts and
That's
stuff
why
like
a lot
that.
of people don't like getting surgery from it. Because, like, when you take it out, it's like they remove it and you're fucked, pretty much.
They don't have any artificial things nowadays.
I mean, if you have the bucks for it,
Yeah,
I'm
that's true.
sure,
Expensive. I mean,
right?
I'm pretty sure
But-
they have some sort of like treatments and stuff like that you could put, but yeah, it's some of it's out of pocket and stuff, but usually they just remove it or cut a piece of it, and you have the more of the bone to bone touching each other.
Yeah, that's a big fear of mine. Is like I'm not a big trainer, but if I ever work out or just even playing basketball or some shit, like just fucking having a expensive injury. I
Yeah.
would more say an expensive injury.
No, but this one, when I did it myself, one of the things, because I mean, obviously, fixing an injury is, if you don't know shit about it, it's kind of like, okay, what do I do? How do I fix it, right? So obviously, first thing you do is go on Google, right? And I love Reddit. Reddit has a lot of information on stuff like that. So first things first, again, meditate, be stress-free. And then that begins a process of healing. So then that's when I started to like, kind of like, I even did a little bit of, oh my God, what's it called? It's like a Chinese way of like, exercising. I forgot.
Oh, you're talking about the
Where they go on when they go on a
Like in a-
white stance and
yeah.
then they start doing like all this.
I don't know
Oh
what
my
it's called.
goodness, forgot what to call.
They do it in the parks.
Huh?
They do it in the parks.
Yeah,
the Chinese people.
So I would do that to kind of like get back on my strength and just to release stress, and it worked.
I could never. I could never.
Yeah, it's
That's not
tough.
me.
It's tough.
I could never.
It's tough, but it worked. I mean,
I'd like to see him do it.
yeah. No, but now it's good. I mean, here and there when I lunge, like I'll feel it, like just like a little like a funny bone, like book, and then it goes off.
Fuck.
But as far as tearing it or anything like that, that's good. I guess nutrition plays a big part too. So
Fuck. I know. I seen David Goggins on YouTube saying that his gelatin in his knees gone.
oh yeah.
He's like, it's just bone to bone at this point. I can't imagine fucking still working now, waking up and being like, all right, back at it again.
Yeah, no, hell no. It's scary.
You guys don't have a fear of like, because you're going so hard at a young age. When you get older, you might have these mingling effects of like pain that you could have avoided if you didn't work out as hard at a young age.
I mean, if I
Has
was
that ever
ego,
crossed your mind?
if I was ego lifting now, then yes. But if those injuries that I got early in the days didn't happen, I think I'd be ego lifting
Yeah.
still now.
Yeah.
Just because when I'm in the zone, I'm in the zone, right? And I'll give you stories. You could and these were times when I was like heavy on the drinking. Sometimes I'll show up hungover as fuck, to competitions.
Oh fuck.
And then I wouldn't even warm up, and I'll just go right into them. And yeah. So if first Hyrox, I was hungover. I got a nasty
for a fucking injury. You're all dried out from the alcohol.
Yeah, I got like a 25-minute cramp. I had to like sit down. I had to sit down, literally like dorsiflex my fucking foot for it to not crumble. And I was like, fuck no. The guy kept coming in and he's like, hey man, you gotta step out. And I'm like, no, I'm gonna finish. But then I was running like with a limp, because of that. But I've done a deadlifting competition too. It was not an actual like state or just like a national or city, whatever. No, it was more so like a gym hosting as many reps as you can do. And it was 315. I got second place that day, but I did about 32 reps. And then the next day I was just fucking miserable. I was like, ugh, and my knees were hurting and stuff like that. But I feel like, no, not now. Now with the knowledge, it's like you're able to kind of like, I guess, work with it, So
When's the last time you've pushed yourself the hardest? I'm talking about hard. Like,
I mean, I never pushed myself super hard. Like we did one program that he did. I joined and we were doing heavy lifting, so like maxing out on workouts and stuff. That's the most I've done, and I've never really max out. I know I could do a lot more, but I just wanted to be naturally strong, and I wanted to be functional and healthy. I never did it to be like crazy way where I'm shaking and shivering. That's never been my thing. I like to do it every now and then for sure, like deadlifting and maxing out on deadlifting, squats, stuff like that. I'll do it every now and then, but that's why I don't have much fear of getting injured and feeling old and like beat up and stuff, because we're very conscientious. I can't even say the word. Conscious about that, and we modify, and we make sure that if there's something hurting, we don't keep going. Ego lifters do. They'll keep going until something breaks or they pass out. We don't do that. So no, I mean, as long as we're well balanced, we have good recovery. It's all around health, everything. So we balance it. Yeah, we talk about recovery all the time. Like there's one time where I was working out twice a day. And he had a conversation with me. He's like, bro, you need a break. Take a break. I took 3 days off, came back stronger, bigger, bulkier. Everything. I was like, whoa, this break helped. He's like, yeah, dude, don't go so hard. You don't need to work out that hard. And that's when I learned that, because my mindset used to be work out hard, go all out. He's like, no, you have to have a balance. And that helped me with my fitness journey, is not to be so hard, because that would have probably led me to have more injuries when I'm older and stuff like that. But no, now I lift for health and stuff, and I don't really have a fear.
What are your thoughts on Joe Rogan was on a podcast with a Russian wrestler, and the Russian wrestler was like, the reason the Russian wrestlers are better than the American wrestlers is they train more days than the Americans, because the Americans go so hard that they need these recovery days.
Right.
But Russian ones work out so lightly
Yeah.
that they can work out every single day, 365 days a year.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that? Like trying to implement it into your how you train?
Yeah, I believe that could be healthy. If you're not going all out all the time, like I'm pretty sure the way they did it was they would do like 4 or 5 days of working out decently, moderate, and then they would do a couple light days. I'm gonna do a light jog today and a light like agility, light takedown, stuff like that, not go too hard. So that there's a good way to work out every day. A healthy way about doing it is just not going hard all 7 days, or else that's when it's a problem. So same thing. Even because he knows I like to work out a lot, he would tell me like, if you want to work out every day, at least 2 days, just do a light jog or go for a walk. Even go for like a long 3-4 mile walk, and then do a couple push-ups, sit up, do like a circuit of that, and then call it, and that'll be your rest. So it's obviously modifying. So I'm okay with working out every single day. I don't tell people don't do it, but I do tell people to go a lot lighter on 2 or 3 of the days, like way lighter, and then the other days go a little harder. Modify to what you're going to focus on, upper body strength, whatever it be, conditioning, stuff like that. Go harder these days, and just make sure you balance it out, because you can burn yourself out and you can injure yourself, especially how ego lifting or working out really hard without any rest. Is tough, because you need rest. And if you work out light one day, and that's still considered rest for me, what I mean, especially if you're an athlete. Working out lighter is technically rest. You know what I mean? When I do a light workout, I'm like, this is nothing.
Yeah.
So this literally did nothing.
It feels weird. It feels weird. It's kind of like, nigga, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah. Right. So right. So that's rest. So I consider that a form of rest. So that's the way I see it. I think it's cool.
Yeah. So I remember I was hitting the gym, and my schedule was crazy for like 2 years. For 2 years. I was working out for 4 years, like when I first ever started. But for 2 years, every morning I would do 100 reps of like push-ups, like calisthenics, sit-ups, this, blah, blah, blah. Then I would do a 20-minute workout at my lunch, again 100 reps or something, but HIIT workout. And then at night I would either do 100 reps of like pull-ups, push-ups again, or I would hit the weights, maxing out. And after 2 years, my body fucking was told I would do that for 5 days a week. And then some guy told me, he's like, oh, take a rest day, but do it in the sense that whatever you're pushing, cut that all in half. But when I did that, it like demotivated me. I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Like I know I should be doing more. It feels weird. Like let's say the most I could do was like a plate for a benching, and I would do like a 20 pound. I'd be like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, it just feels weird. And I feel like to me it demotivated me.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people. I mean, yeah, like a lot of people, don't like that. But I feel like some people think rest day is like laying down all day. You know what I mean?
That's what I think about it. When I hear
it's not. No, rest, that's lazy. That's being a sloth all day. No, rest day. Even when I'm rest day, I'm still doing a lot of stuff. I have a busy life. I do a lot of different things. So I'm never resting, laying on the couch all day. So a rest day for me is still a tough day. You know what I mean? Like we'll talk and say, oh, like, did you do this? Like, actually I did it, but I still did a lot of stuff. I still burnt like, 7, 8, 9,000 calories, just the whole day. You know what I mean? I still did over 10,000 steps just all day, following my kids, playing with my kids, doing these, deliveries, stuff like that. So it's like, rest day is not really rest day where I'm like lounging. So it's for me, rest day is when you don't work out as hard as you would, like do heavy lifting, stuff like that. But you still want to move around. You never want to be, unless you're on vacation, which is like a 5 days of just like lounging around, but you're still going to walk around. You're still going to do stuff. Rest day to me is just not doing as hard, not working out as hard, and being not as intentional about it, like, whereas like you have a set workout for an hour and a half, 2 hours, you don't have that, but you're still walking several steps. You're still, you still go on a walk with your spouse, go walk with your children, go play with your children, go to the park, go walk around the mall, go do something. Don't just do nothing. So that's when people, when they take a rest day, I just lounge and ate junk food for 2 days. It's like, I don't feel good today.
And then the junk food comes in.
I was like, that's not rest, bro. That's the opposite of what we're trying to get your goal to. Rest is, yes, like have one cheat meal, that's fine, or 2 or whatever, and not be as like as intentional with your workout those 2 days, but also be functional, move around, to get stuff done. That's rest. You know what I mean? For me, getting stuff done that I want to get done, that needs to be done around my house, and like that's rest. Yeah. That's what rest looks like. Obviously, I watch TV and watch a movie with my wife every now and then, but that's like at the end of the night, and we end up falling asleep halfway through the movie anyway. So, yeah, that's how I see rest day.
Yeah, that's funny. I've never seen rest day like that. Is that how you see it?
What, rest day?
Yeah.
It depends. I mean, again, if it's like for physical fitness or training, I mean, you're gonna have like your different rest days, right? Like if you're just, I guess using fitness as a form to stay in shape. I mean, one day of lounging, I don't see anything wrong with that. But if you're training, for example, like let's say bodybuilding, right? You do want to get your steps in, at least, right? Take a recreational walk or recreational hike. Just something like that, and then go about your day. That's it. Rest days, I feel like going back to like, burning out and stuff like that. It's like, it's like I coach him and then I coach his wife as well. And his wife's always busy with the bakery stuff, right? And sometimes she'll say, "Oh, I didn't have time today." So then it's like, okay, like break down the workouts through the day, like at least 10 minutes, do like 10 squats. 10 minutes, another 10 minutes out of the day, do 10 push-ups. 10 minutes, another 10 minutes of the day, do lunges, another 10 minutes of the day, do abs. Once you know it, you already hit 40 minutes.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
You know? So then it's there's always time to work out.
There is always time to work out.
Always time. But with rest, I feel that once in a while, I think it's okay. Like,
just to not fucking do
just
shit.
lounge. Like, for example, like, I mean, last week I was in Chicago for the Hyrox. I did a race here. Excuse me. And the day, I mean, I did walk the whole city. Like, I stayed away from taking Ubers and also just because I wanted to, like, explore. But coming Sunday, coming Friday, I didn't hit the gym. I didn't hit nothing. I got there. First thing I did was, okay, I'm going to lounge, take a shower, and order deep dish.
Hell
So
yeah. Hell
deep
yeah.
dish
He's
pizza.
hating this. He's like, hell no.
And the shit,
I'm
man.
with you on that. I'll fucking go to your house on that one. Hell yeah.
So I was eating that shit, watching TV. All right, cool. And then the next day, okay, back on. you
Yeah.
know. But once in a while, I guess, like, it's not that bad.
You take any supplements? Like,
So the only supplements I'm taking right now is creatine.
yeah, I figured,
Creatine. I'm taking beta-alanine. I'm gonna shy away from the pre-workout. I'm gonna shy away from that, and I'm just gonna go into caffeine instead.
Okay.
So coffee or caffeine pills. And then that's it. I feel like now that I've been taking more time or more sleep, now that I'm not drinking as much, I've been focusing on, like, I mean, I do take magnesium to like, you know, recover, but I just added I have trouble saying this word, ashwagandha.
Oh, ashwagandha?
Ashwagandha.
Yeah, ashwagandha.
Yeah, so ashwagandha, Shawana man.
I shot one.
I know. I'm drinking. I shot Wanda. No, but no, yeah, I've been drinking that, and man, 20 minutes in, I'm just
Oh, ashwagandha makes you
knockout.
sleepy.
Hell yeah.
Oh, interesting.
It's good for, like, I noticed that it's good for, like, well, I've been doing it for a week. Usually stuff doesn't really take an effect until, like, the second week, but this one, the first time I took it, I was
Interesting. Yeah,
And
because
then-
ashwagandha is supposed to help with tea.
yeah, and this one is it helps with tea, it helps with recovery,
Yeah.
also recovery, restoration. It helps with cognitive thinking too. So, but yeah, like, sleep felt fucking awesome. And then now when I sleep with it and I wake up, like yesterday I went to sleep like around what, 9, 10ish, and today I woke up at 8.
Yeah, I know. He's
Yeah.
like, what was my sleep schedule last night?
I went to sleep early, and but yeah, like, I woke up fucking like a brand new man.
Wait, so do you not get these late night texts anymore where he's drinking?
Oh, you haven't, huh?
No, not lady.
Were these late night texts actually functional though?
I could tell he was buzzed or drunk because some of the things would be like, you know, when people slur, it's like you could see it through his text.
Yeah.
He would spell things wrong or put things out of. I knew what he meant and what he was saying, but no. And now it's like just a reminder or like, hey, bro, this is that, or reminder this happened, because we like to update each other on business and stuff. But that's it. I haven't, not in a while, no.
No, but were these ideas functional? Like, were
Oh,
any
his
of,
were
were any of them implemented?
no, they
Were
were.
they?
They were
Yeah,
more
really?
like. They were more like definitely a lot of cuss word heavy. Like, mother, get this, let's get every sentence. That's how it was. Like, he was hype. You could tell he was hype, and I laughed. Yeah, no, but they were pretty much productive. He was really a productive drunk. Like, he got his stuff done when he was done. I was like, dude, find another outlet, bro. Like, this isn't longevity wise. This one's not good. So yeah,
fucking funny.
but to clarify on the lounge thing, I do believe in lounging. I give myself one day a month to be lazy, to lounge.
that's good.
It's healthy. Recover. I do. I just don't like making a habit of it. Because
Yeah,
people
of
take
course.
advantage of it and they'll do it for months. You know what I mean? Oh, every weekend lounge or after work lounge. Like, I just, it's easy now, especially society now. People get very lazy and get too involved in TV, what's on, politics, this and that. You know, it's like as people get too heavy on all this stuff, and that's lounging around causes. So I don't like people lounging around. When I lounge around, I am home getting stuff done in my house. I do watch TV a little more than I normally do. I watch movies with my kids, with my wife, lay on the couch. I do that. I do believe in that for sure, but not a lot.
Yeah.
Like I don't do it a lot. I do it. My wife and I have a deal. She likes to go out because she's home most of the time during the week, and I'm out working during the week. So for me, weekends I want to be home.
Of course, yeah.
And then she wants to go out. So I tell her, just give me one day a month where I don't do nothing.
Yeah.
Like nothing. He knows. I think he does something similar too. There's like one day a week or something like that. We don't text at all. Usually Sundays. Sundays we go to church, family time. Get some business stuff done quickly. But we usually hang out. Either go out or we'll lounge around the house and stuff like that. Keep the Sabbath holy. But no, like I just don't believe in being a sloth. Being loud. Like that's why I don't promote it as much. But I do believe give yourself once a month at least to be lazy.
Yeah, I like that.
To do
I
that.
enjoy
So that's to clarify. I don't talk about it, but that's what I do. Because most of the time I'm doing stuff. But I'm not against it. Being lazy at least once a week, or do something that you like to do. Watch a movie for all day, kind of a marathon. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So. Yeah, my wife and I did that. We finished. We watched all the Harry Potter movies like in a month. And that we haven't gotten into it, but we want to do Lord of the Rings. We've seen them all already.
But you've seen all the Lord of the Rings?
Oh yeah,
we
love Lord of the Rings. Yeah, we love them. Lord of the Rings actually a Christian wrote all the books and stuff and everything.
Is it Christian based?
Yeah,
the movie is like something about Christianity.
Oh yeah, there's faith put in it. Yeah, there's little faith things and stuff like that. Yeah, it's a good like biblical story about like it's what is it? Metaphors, for biblical things like the war against the devil, the war against these ugly-looking demons.
The Lord of the Rings?
Yeah. Read about it. There's a lot of cool stuff. Yeah, there's this little ties here, but he wrote a story, to be like interesting and
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
Same thing as Chronicles of Narnia.
That's the one.
It's been a while since I've seen it.
There's C.S. Lewis. There's
2 movies, right?
There's like a lot of books. I think there's like 10 or something books, but they only made, but they're different stories.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I think there's only like 2, 3, or 4 stories that go together, or something like that. Don't quote me. But yeah, I mean, I like to watch all stuff. We try not to watch nonsense stuff, especially all the stuff that came out during the COVID time, during the Biden years. I call it the Biden years.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't let my kids watch a lot of that stuff because they put, you know what I mean. You know what I'm getting at. So I'm always mindful what they watch, because anyway, you put crap in your head, crap comes out.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, you're conditioning your brain to just think in that mindset. Right. I mean, for me too. Like, whenever I watch movies, I like to like get something out of it. Mm-hmm. And if it's a bullshit movie, that's gonna linger in your head for a while. Like, it stays there. Like, that's a conditioning. It's a 2-hour. Most movies are 2 hours, and that conditions your mind to stay in that mindset.
Right, and they show you things that are not right. Things are like, I don't know. Like a lot of movies put men down. Like, men are dumb. Homer Simpson.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Family Guy, other stuff.
Yep.
No. Men should be strong. Men should be, masculine. That's not toxic masculinity. It's just toxic men. Toxic women, toxic people. Whatever. It's. I believe men are strong. Men are obviously biblically. Men are called to handle a lot. God punished us for that first sin of eating from the fruit, doing labor. So we're going to do hard work for the rest of our lives. He punished women through childbirthing, painful childbirthing. Mm-hmm. So these are the things that we're punished with. But, you learn to keep going, and there's a lot more to talk about that. But, yeah.
I could never be a woman. I look at them because I have a friend that's pregnant. I'm like, I'm so glad.
That's a powerful thing, right? That's a powerful thing because we would be babies.
Hell yeah, dog! Have you seen those guys that do the muscle cramp test?
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know if I.
My wife told me to do it. It's like, no, I already admit that. I admit that I can't handle that.
Yeah.
I can see Mario going, "Este, it hurts." That's his his word, "Este." It's like, "Este, it hurts." Yeah. Man, power to women for that. That's a strong thing. That's a powerful thing.
Yeah,
to give birth to a life. Oh gosh, I can't. That's like the best thing a person could do.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
In this world, is life. It literally is life.
You're giving life. You come together to create life, and the woman has to birth that life and care for it.
Care for it. Yep.
Yeah, do all that. The men have to raise it, and it's just all this. I'm always biblical.
Yeah.
No, I always go back to biblical principles. So
yeah.
But yeah, dude, it's women are powerful.
Wait. So you guys have had business ideas, and you've been there where his wife actually helps out with like some of the something.
Yeah. So the way we became, just a little like background on Elite Functional Training.
That's the name of your company, Elite Functional Training.
Yeah. So our
EFT.
EFT. So our main thing, it started with we're just sharing ideas. Like we're coaching at a place, and then we were just I was training him, and then he once shared like, hey man, like growing up I wanted to have my own gym, have wrestling here, have functional training here, like have a little bit of everything, right? And I was like, oh shit, well, hey, I'm on the same boat too. I would want to have my gym in the future too, and from there we just started sharing ideas, and then we just got to the point where we're like, okay, well, since a gym takes a while to achieve, why don't we just hold these workouts in a park or different areas? So then our main goal was to kind of instead of calling it a workout, more of an experience. Hey, come experience a nice, it's a workout here at the beach, in the beaches of Manhattan Beach, where the sun, you're gonna get a nice sun, you get to see a beautiful, the ocean, stuff like events. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So like little events, but those events are all fitness. Okay. But then we wanted to kind of like provide the experience to those people, or for example, let's use Griffith Park, right? Hey, come, experience a nice hike at the mountains of Griffith Park. You're going to get a great workout in community. So the whole idea behind that was to not follow the same thing as every workout, right? Or every... we want to differentiate ourselves from like your typical boot camp, your typical HIIT workout, your typical stuff like that. So what we focus on is programming through fun, community, and challenging.
Okay, those are big three. Yeah.
Yeah. The reason why is because if a client or somebody has anxiety, gym anxiety, they're not going to want to go to the gym. Why? Because it's obviously you see, you're always with that fear of like, oh, that person's better than me and I can't do this shit. So what am I doing here? No. So what we wanted to provide is that openness of like, hey, come on, you're going to have fun. We're going to have a fun workout. On top of that, we're going to have a communal workout where you're going to be paired up in teams, in teams of 2, teams of 4, like a relay kind of. And lastly, we're also going to challenge you, to kind of push your limits a little bit. So I believe that those big 3 break a person into kind of like feeling comfortable. Mm-hmm. So then that's how we became with the whole elite functional training, not just your functional training, not just your regular training. Do 30, 40, 50 burpees. Do this. No. It was more so like, hey, let's make it fun. Let's make it communal, but also let's challenge them a little bit. Very so then, intentional program. Exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we believe that, program with intensity, but most importantly, intentionally.
And so how many of these events have you done already?
So we're going to our 3rd one. So the reason, so we do it every other few months just because we don't want to compile it too much. Yeah. And in the process, we started adding a little bit more to it. So he's great at coaching boot camps, and he's good at programming those. And we found a different approach of programming the boot camp. Again, not your typical style of boot camp, right? And we also adapted to Hyrox, which we also offer through Elite Functional Training. And we've been blessed by, people allowing us to use their space. Jesse Mercado, which he's the owner of Banfit Athletics in Whittier, California. Mm-hmm. That's where we host our Hyrox classes. And Maria, what's her last name? Maria and Scott. Maria and Scott. So it's a couple. Johnson. And they have a gym in Paramount, which is Paramount Downey, and they've have blessed us as well to use their space in order for us to run that boot camp. So then we offer Hyrox and Whittier, and then he offers Legacy Boot Camp at Winning Image. So we have those 2 places as well under Elite Functional Training, but all through collaboration, which we are huge believers on. Mm-hmm. Collaborating, especially in the fitness world. It's fucking hard to collaborate, man, But yeah, so that's how we got into Elite Functional Training. Well, shit, I went off topic.
How does my wife give us advice?
Oh, that's so crazy. I forgot. No, it's because I had a question.
Oh shit!
I had a question that was gonna lead
That's
to
why I
that.
knew we were gonna get to
That's
there.
so crazy.
And then this fool was just
ran off.
I call him the philosopher.
No, I had a question. You can answer that, but I had a
Yeah.
question that was gonna lead to another question.
Right,
for
yeah.
that,
So just to chime in, my wife helps us when we brainstorm. We'll meet at my house sometimes. We'll meet at the front and just like brainstorm. She'll sit in, and she's good. She's a good ideas person. She's really good at ideas. She's really good at putting things together. She's like, well, if you guys are doing this, and I can help you with that. So she does a lot of because this year we just started booming. We leveled up. We're like, okay, let's leave a legacy behind for our kids. Let's teach them that. We have to be, because I'm full Hispanic, believe it or not. So we come from like, parents that come from different countries and stuff. And we're like, let's, they came here, they worked hard, they gave us what they could. We came here, we were born here, and we want to go off their shoulders, and then we want our kids to go off our shoulders. So let's be the one that changes the path of our family from all these, different toxic things, different like, poor man's mindset kind of thing. And let's level up. Let's be the ones that sacrifice our life to help our kids and our grandkids and our great grandkids have better. So that started our life. And then she just started building her bakery. She just killed it, does great videos. I was like, man, how do you do? Like, help me with my videos. And she gives me ideas. Hey, help me with the poster that we want to post and stuff like that. Help me with this. So we go to her for all that, because we'll talk and be like, let's ask Gabby. Let's ask her. So we'll ask her pretty much all these questions. And no, she's doing a great job with that business. It's Olive Rose Bakery. So she does great with that. And we had a juice company. We're slowing down with that a little bit because we want to focus more on the fitness and the bakery. Mm-hmm. But she's a great ideas person. So we go to her for a lot of like, we need a third party. We need a third party and stuff like that. So she helps us. Do you have anything to say about how she helps us? Because that's what he asked you at first.
Yeah. So a lot of times, like when we're kind of like we disagree sometimes, it's kind of like, okay, ask Gabby or something like that.
Oh, she's like the intermediate, the third fucking vote.
The mediator, pretty much. Yeah. So like sometimes like when we'll be brainstorming, like sometimes we do it like once a month. Like we'll gather and then we'll talk about like the wins, the losses, how can we can improve exactly. And then sometimes like we'll just say, hey, I got an idea. What do you think about this? He's like, I don't know about that. And then she'll come in and she'll give her input. Oh, that's a good idea. Or no, that's a bad idea. How about you guys do this instead? And we're like, oh, okay, makes more sense, right? We'll it's like so that's how she helps. So she's been a great help.
I'm gonna give you the explanation first of why I want to ask this, and then I'll ask you and then you think. So there's a great book. Do you guys read?
Yeah.
Oh fuck yeah.
Mario reads a lot.
Do you know who Napoleon Hill is?
Yes.
You ever read? No.
Mm-mm.
You ever read?
Maybe.
What is it called? Interview with the Devil.
Actually reading.
I think so.
Reading
I
it
haven't
right
read
now?
it, but I've heard of it.
I'm reading.
Read it,
Yeah.
bro. Number one book I would recommend everybody to read, especially people who are like you, like business oriented and stuff.
Yeah.
And so it talks about in one of the points he asked the devil, like, it was hard for me to get into your mind and get you to be a sloth and like get you to stop wanting to work once you got married. Because once you got married, having a woman's identity as a background, it just solidified you as a man even more. Yep. And it made it even harder for me to penetrate your mind. Wow. And especially having a woman behind your back, it gave you the flip side of what your opposite is. And now you, like, as a man, we see the world differently. With the woman, now you're seeing that world through her eyes. And she tells you and guides you through those eyes as well. Yeah. So I wanted to ask you on that too, like, not more about business, but just about life. Like, what do you see married, and what do you see in him too? Like how he's changed with having this woman as your wife now.
Yeah. So I always call her the third leg to my stool, right? So for me, I have two legs, but sometimes I fall, and she sees my weaknesses. She sees my insecurities. She sees everything because we live together, right? So she's the one that always uplifts me. She's always the one that pushes me. She's the one motivator. So when I say she's my helper, she's legitimately my helper. Like, it's no joke. She's there pushing me every day to do better. Like, when days when I'm down, she knows. We know each other because we're very transparent with each other. We tell each other the truth. Even if it hurts each other's feelings or something, we make sure we tell each other the truth. You have to have that. And she definitely, she in a loving way, obviously. She talks to me. She communicates with me. And she tells me You know, she pushes me to move forward. She you know, I see her working so hard. It motivates me to work hard. Okay, she cannot work me. You know, sometimes it's that mindset too, because we're men, we're competitive.
Mm-hmm.
You know, things like that. So, but definitely, definitely, she's the third leg to my stool. She helps me with everything. Like you know, when I was single for a couple years, for the years that I was single, you know, I was dependent on myself. I can do everything independent. I should say I could do all this stuff. You know, dependent on no one. She came in. She took like a load off me with like different things, and I was like, wow, she really is like the definition of a biblical woman, of a helper. So I mean, she's changed me in a way where like now I have more motivation. You know, again, when I spoke earlier about my why, she's definitely my reason why. I want to give her everything. You know, I want to make sure that she's content. I always want to make sure she's happy and stuff like that. And she's great about like, there's days, obviously we're not perfect, and there's days where I slip, or you know, I'm like a little more aggressive than I usually am and stuff. She knows that something's going on. I was like, what's going on? What's wrong? And she'll question me in that way. Obviously, it's never masculine. She knows not to be masculine, same way as I'm never feminine, you know, kind of thing. So she's always very loving about it and always communicating with me, and we talk a lot. So we talk about a lot of things, and it's just like we said earlier with things. It's communication. It's being transparent, reading the room. Like she can see what's going on. Like that I'm overthinking something, or something like that. She'll help me. She'll like help me break it down. When I have a long list of things, you know, sometimes I'll break down and I won't do nothing. Mm-hmm. So she'll be like, hey, like break it down. Do this. Go do that. Go do this. You know, and stuff. You know, she doesn't nag at me. She doesn't tell me like you need to do this. You need to do that. You need to do this. She's not like that at all. She's more just like, hey, love, you said you were going to work on that. Do you have time today? I was like, oh, of course. I'll get on it. And just the way that she comes to me like that sometimes, at times when I'm being like forgetful or something, like I want to do it, you know? I want to do that. So I always say, and I try to like tell people as best as I guess not as showboaty as I can. It's like my wife is literally very close to being as biblical of a woman as a woman should be, you know? So I tell you have a lot to teach people, you know, like femininity and all the things that you teach and stuff. Like she dresses in long dresses. It doesn't show too much, you know, even at the gym when she works out, she's very conservative with the way she dresses, like, you know. And I don't like, she knows when I don't like something, but she doesn't do it because of the way I feel about it. She does it because she respects me. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
No, I get that. Yeah.
So like a lot of people say, like, oh, he's controlling. No, I really don't tell her much. You know what I mean? I don't tell her anything really. She does it on her own. So, I mean, like again, she's definitely a biblical woman, and I think that's why a lot of people like her, follow her page and stuff, because it's bakery and everything. Yes, but you see the femininity. You see her. It's like, hey, let's get back to homesteading. Let's get back to raising kids, raising a farm, and helping our husbands. You know, let's get back to this, about that, because that works. That's always worked, and it always will work. You know what I mean? Just doing it the right way, kind of thing. I don't know if I answered your question. Sorry.
No, it's just like
the Mario.
I think Mario, I think he would be better answer my question from an outside perspective.
Yeah.
But I agree with you with the homesteading thing. Is like when I look at a woman that's religious, like they just have a different look in their eyes. Right. Like their eyes just shine bright. At least in my opinion. Right. Like they're just so beautiful. Like they're something about them is bright. Like they have an aura to them. Right. And I love that. I agree with you on that.
Yeah. And to add, before I pass it to Mario to give his perspective, we weren't like this when we first got together. Like she like, not that she was the opposite of it. She was always similar to how she is now, but we didn't really like follow super to the Bible. Oh, okay, the Bible says this, Bible says that. We're just, okay, it's common sense, you know, like don't be a hoochie for her. Yeah. It's common sense for me, like don't be a player. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's common, like that's just what for us was common sense. We knew that's healthy for the soul. Even if you're not a person of faith, it's healthy for your soul. Mm-hmm. You know that's right. Just innately, you know that what's right and wrong. There's a reason for that. I always tell people dig into that, because then you will find God. But for us with that, and then together we started being better, and we were so strong as a couple that I became more of the loving husband, because men want respect, and women want love. Like it or not, that's the way it is. So I at first I was being like tough, like hey we need to do that, and then I learned to love her. I learned to be loving. I learned to listen. I used to talk a lot, like solutions. I got solutions. I got solutions for everything. No, I learned that she doesn't always want a solution. She just wants her best friend to hear her.
Yes,
right?
yeah.
Right?
Bro, I agree
So-
with you 100%
so it's like,
on that. Trust me.
and
Something
then
I've
you
learned.
can read, like, again, go back to what we've been saying. Read the room.
Yeah.
Okay, listen. This is the point. Don't talk. Listen. So listening to her, loving on her, and all that, and she's learned to, because she for a long time, especially in past relationship, she had to be the stern one. She had to be the one to put her foot down. She was a literally the bread maker now,
Yeah.
the breadwinner and stuff like that. And she had to learn to let go and let me lead, right?
Yeah.
So she had to let me lead, let me fill that role, and she did.
Yeah.
And we're in a great place now than when we first started together. We would clash a little bit because for me it's like who, you a man? You telling me what to do? But we learned to lovingly, like, hey, look, I don't like when you talk to me like you're my dad.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Or you talk to me like you're like this, and
Yeah,
the same
like,
thing.
yeah.
So you're talking to me a little too like I'm a bro.
Yeah.
You're talking to me a little too like you're my dad. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
It's like I get it, and then we communicated well together, and finally got to where God wanted us to be, I believe. And it takes time. People give up so fast in marriages and in relationships and stuff like that, but it takes time. Like, a good relationship is going to be, I would say, rocky, but it's going up.
Oh, yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Obviously, there's going to be times where
Yeah,
it's
but you're
harder,
gonna-
but you're still
yeah.
going up. The biggest thing is both committing yourselves to the Lord and moving forward that way. If you both do that from the very beginning, there's guaranteed it's gonna succeed.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the advice I always give to people. But anyways, going back to my wife, I love her. She's great, and I'm a blessed man for
Yeah.
sure. That's why I got to keep her close to me, because she's mine.
I'm gonna ask the question to
Yeah,
Mario,
yeah.
but if you want to answer, because maybe when I ask it again, so because you don't have a girlfriend
Mhm.
and you see him as with his wife, when she does input her ideas, do you see how different a woman's perspective is from what she brings to the table, like of the ideas and stuff, and like solutions and stuff?
Oh yeah. A woman's gonna say what she means always.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I feel. Yeah. Just because men are more logical and women are more emotional, so they're gonna say what they mean.
Yeah.
I read this once. Not sure from what book, but they pretty much said that like women don't lie, especially when they're being very expressive. They don't lie, but us men being logical, we always want to find around,
Yeah.
dig in more, no? So I feel that seeing that when she puts an input, I feel like it's like she's saying what she means, there and there, you know. So you know, and I could put my input like with my ex. We haven't been together for like 2 years, but with her, it's like she would always the same thing. Like I would always feel stuck at certain aspects, and then I would always get her perspective, and then it'll kind of broaden me up to like, you know, like, okay, that makes sense. No. With the journaling, she wasn't really into the journaling, but she was more into like the whole, what is it, Tesla 963 or whatever. You know, when you write things down like
yeah,
9 times,
yeah.
5 times at
Erick,
one time.
mhm.
So she would always tell me that. She's like, why don't you do that? Like, do that. Like, you're very aspiring. You're always, you know, you want to be something big, right? So then I'm like, okay. So, but then again, I would never do it. And she would do that. So she would always tell me to do, she would say what she mean. And she would give me perspectives that at the time I wasn't really open to. But now, inputting all that now, it's made me kind of see what she meant.
Yeah.
And it makes sense. So it's like they say, you know, like behind every strong man, there's a woman.
Yeah.
And I think that's how I see it. And I've always like referred to her as my moon, because like in the time of darkness, like she's the one that lights up the path.
Yeah. That's
So
pretty good.
I've always referred her
As
as
the
to
moon,
that,
yeah,
as a
yeah.
moon. And but yeah, with her is like same thing like with Erick. You know, she's not extremely biblical, but she's a big believer in God.
Mhm.
Now she's more into God and stuff like that. She stopped listening to like radio,
Mhm.
and then mostly like just Christian music and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. And I mean, we don't talk anymore, but just remembering a lot of the stuff that she would tell me makes a lot more sense now. And
Yeah.
I've applied it to it now. And to be honest, I feel more of a man now than back then when I was close to those things.
Bro, that's good. That's fucking great.
So I believe that what makes a man is having a woman behind
Yeah,
him
I agree.
all the time.
Yeah, yeah. Some of the greatest men that I can think of always had a woman behind her.
Yeah.
But it's even good that you were able to self-reflect on that and be like, you know what, she was actually right. You weren't like too prideful. You're like, yeah. She had a good input. Hindsight, now I see it. I'm fixing the things that she told me to fix.
Yeah.
It'll help him with the future relationship too. It'll help.
Yeah, it'll definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. So no, but yeah, now it's like it's always a path of growth. So eventually, when a woman comes my way again, and that'll be the
you'll know how to better
communicator, listener, and stuff like that. Because it's true what he says. Like I would make the mistake of always like finding a solution. You know how like when someone says like, hey, I had a bad day at work and my boss is being a fucking dick and whatever. The man's always trying to find a logical solution.
Yeah.
Why don't you talk to HR? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Why don't you do this? It's like, motherfucker, I'm not asking you for your opinion. I just want you to hear me. So it's like, with her in our last few days, I started getting better at a little bit of like saying like, hey, do you want my opinion or do you just want me to hear you out? You know? So then, but yeah, now it's like lesson learned. And
most of the time you just gotta listen and be like, oh, I hear you. I
hear you. I understand. But
okay, I want to actually go back to your business. So tell me your first event before the first event. How are you guys, what's the game plan? What do you guys see? And how are you approaching that game plan for before that day starts? For the first event.
How was it for the first event?
Before that. Like how did you guys come up with the vision? And then what steps were you taking to get to that vision?
So we just started seeing we hear people say that like people will get burned out of the same style of workouts. It's always the same thing. Me as a personal trainer, I work with a lot of in-home personal training. So that's my business. That's a separate business, but I do a lot of in-home trainings. So I deal with a lot of people that have gym anxiety, or they want to train at a more private gym just because they don't want to train in big crowds. For example, I had a client last year that we would train at 10 p.m. just because like the gym was cleared out and it was just him and his workout and stuff like that. So when we were talking about before our first event, or just even the idea itself, we were talking about how okay, here's this group of people complaining about not complaining, let me rephrase that, expressing that they're doing the same workouts over and over and over and over, and they don't see any, change. Then you got people that have anxiety for the gym, and they don't want to be around people and stuff like that. And lastly, we just wanted to find a different approach to fitness, right? It's fitness is always going to be functional. It's always going to be referred to functional fitness, and unless it's specific like Olympic weightlifting, et cetera. But that's how we became with the thing. So then we started thinking about it, and it was hard. It was like, man, like, okay, what makes us different as coaches, right? You're a fun guy, I'm a fun guy. Okay, well, why don't we just plan a fun event? Boom, like a fun workout. What do people always see us as? Like our workouts. Oh shit, they're challenging. Okay, let's keep that on the map. And lastly, what do all these people have in common? People that are always doing the same thing, and then people that have anxiety. These people don't want to come in because for that reason, they're looking for something new. And second, people that have anxiety don't want to be in a gym setting. They want to be in a more open setting. So then that's when I was like, okay, well, we'll do something communal, which is community. Create community. And I've always been a big believer that when there's a gym and there's community, that place is bomb. Yeah. You get me? It's fun. It's cool. People network, and it's good for mental reasons as well. So that's how we got into the whole business of like elite functional training. The name was hard to come up with, but we came up with it. But anyways, so that's how we did it. And then when we planned our first event, that was the thing. Unfortunately, coming into it, we didn't get permits to do it at the beach or anything like that in the beginning. So then that's how we were blessed with Jesse Mercado, the owner of BAMFit Athletics. So I
wrestled with him in college.
Oh, okay.
So
So,
I
that
knew
yeah.
of him. So we were looking for gyms anywhere, like outside of Downey at the time. And we saw his gym. Like I told him because he said, "Hey, I actually know him. Like we wrestled together in college, and I knew him for a couple of years." I said, "Tell him that I know him. Tell him who I am, and that we're partners, and we're trying to figure out, places to coach and stuff like that." And then they hit it off right away, right?
Yeah. So.
And the first event hasn't happened yet.
No, yeah.
No, it happened. It happened.
But you said because of the permits that.
Oh no. So when we met with Jesse, we were renting the place to hold the event. That was the first.
That was the first event.
So
So-
leading up to it.
Okay,
yeah.
we're still okay.
So, I mean, my mindset now it's more so like it's like okay, we gotta try it, to see where we're at. Even if we only get like a few people in, 2, 3, 4 people, I don't give a shit. At least we did it and we came through with it.
I agree.
Starting right, it's like how there's this one quote. I posted it on Instagram today. Let me read it real quick. That caught my attention, and I was like, "Damn, this is so true." So it goes, "The cold water does not get warmer if you jump late." So pretty
I like
much,
that. Yeah, I like
you know what I'm
that.
saying? So it's always like, just do it, and then from that failure, you'll learn something else.
I agree.
But to us, it wasn't a failure. We had people coming in. We had about 5 people come in. Jesse, again, provided an awesome space for us, and we made the event happen. We got good feedback from that and stuff like that. Now, that was a success for us because it was like, we saw it like, dude, this is cool, man. We actually
Yeah,
did
you
it,
actually-
yeah. It came from an idea, just an expression, like, hey, bro, I always want to have a gym too. Oh, shit, me too. From that to now, like, hosting that event was like, oh, yeah.
You guys already
shirts.
had the shirts made?
Yeah.
We made them for the first day.
Oh
Yeah.
shit.
It's like, and we have shirts, and
Yeah.
It's like we're excited to have been started. Like we're starting.
Yeah,
Most
that,
people don't even start.
yeah. Some people don't even implement the idea.
Right.
That's
So
the
we-
hard part.
So we started. We have our first event for. We're just super excited, and we're grateful to be able to do that. And all that. So
Yeah.
Okay, so we're still not at the first event yet, though. We haven't even started.
that was our event.
How many people did you get, though?
About 5.
Oh,
About
okay.
5.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
so
pretty
it's good.
That's not
I
bad.
mean-
That's not bad. That's not bad.
That's good.
And how did you market that?
Marketing was a little challenging just because we didn't have I'll be honest, I'm not an admin type of guy. I'm more of an on-hands type
Okay.
of guy. So the marketing was more so we just posted on Instagram pretty much. We just used social medias.
all of our social medias. I think we did an advertisement on Instagram where you pay. So I think we did.
Oh, okay.
like
That helps a lot. That
yeah,
does help
like
a
a
lot.
week worth and stuff like that, which we got eyes and we got follows and stuff like that. So we got a lot of things like that. So yeah, we're both not savvy on like you said, doing all that stuff. So we're learning, and we're still learning up until now. But I think what keeps us going is the passion. The passion to help people. That's our driving factor. We really want to help people, and we want it to help as many people as we can. And obviously, the outcome is that we want to do that full time.
Yes.
So him not having to train all these places so much, traveling, me not having to do my full-time job anymore, where I can actually focus on and instead of helping people at the end of their life, helping people get to that age and be still really functional and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that was our passion driving us. So we got to the first event. Sorry,
Did you guys charge for this event?
Oh yeah, so events we charge. So we do a lot of free things, and like with programmings, we give free trials. But that event we did charge for the event,
Which was?
25. Yeah, $25. Yeah. So it was an hour event, and then we provided like ginger shots and protein scones, and we made it fun. We did 3 different types of workouts. We did a fun one, which we used cornhole, and like whoever missed the cornhole had to go do a circuit training workout, and then the other person had to go challenge them. If they missed, they had to go do it.
Uh-huh.
So the goal was to keep getting, the making the shot, so that you didn't have to go do the workout. And then we did a strength training one, which was a community one, which was a game one where people worked together to accomplish to defeat another team with the task. And then we did a challenging one, which is a little harder workout. Everyone did it on their own, something like that. So we made it an all-around, fun, like you said, fun, challenging, and community, bringing everyone together event. And everyone had a good time. Everyone was chatting, making fun of each other, joking. So that was the whole goal. So we accomplished what we wanted with our first event.
The community and fun.
Yeah, community fun. Yeah, and the yeah. So we accomplished that, and then after that, we were planning our next event. We already had ideas and stuff, but on the way, we started luckily getting doors were opening. Once you get the ball rolling, doors open. Things start happening. So I started training at another gym that he introduced me to. Maria, Winning Image in Downey. So I started coaching there, and then she said, so the gym is a really nice facility. It has like 6 huge rooms. Different types of room, like a boot camp room, a strength training room, private training room, a dance room, which you could do functional workouts in, a cycling room where it has a bunch of one of those those bicycles. So I'm like, your gym has a lot of potential because they didn't have a boot camp or a set schedule workout. They just had people come and go and random classes and stuff. And so I proposed to them a boot camp, and they said, you know what, let's do it. Let's help us do the boot camp. We'll be partners. So Elite Functional Training became partners with them to do a legacy boot camp, which is just started a couple months ago, a month or so ago. And we have about 6 or 7 members right now, maybe a little more.
Shit.
Yeah. So all the members she had kind of graduated to that, and then getting few members ourselves. And we're gonna do a pop-up there event January 4th, so that we can have the kind of like a grand reopening, and so people could check out the gym, because people drive by it. Oh, I thought it was a spa. Oh, I thought it was just like a little, center. I was like, no, it's actual full functional gym with a lot of different things. So we want people to come and check it out in the area. So and then obviously the whole thing he said with Jesse at BAMFit Athletics in Whittier. So from there, we started there first. Actually, you want to talk about that one? I talked about legacy.
So there, once we got that, Jesse was kind enough to say like, hey man, like, would you want to start like a group training here of some sort? And I was like, oh, you know what? Actually, yeah. Like, there's this new thing called Hyrox. It's a new thing coming up. I've been coaching it for a minute. I love it. And, I think it'll be a good addition to the gym. He's like, okay, fuck it, let's run it. So we started doing that. We're 3 months in now since we started there, and it's been awesome, man. It's been good. People are loving it. People are like results. There's this our client Maria. She started especially with knee pain. She had knee pain and all this stuff. And what I love about her resiliency, like during the workouts. Now, she started her mile at 1350, then she PR'd to 940, and recently we tested for the mile again, and she got at 916.
Oh damn,
So
that's a
she's
good improvement.
progressing. Yeah. On top of that, sometimes we do make the workouts a little bit challenging. As I mentioned before, it's a comprised sport. So with her, there was this one time where it was 6 rounds of burpees, back and forth. And I was like, Maria, remember, find a recovery within the workout. If you need to rest, take your rest. Don't rush it. We're just working out. No, I'm going to do it. She did the whole workout at a regular weight, regular speed, everything. And then ever since then, 3 months in, she's already doing all the workouts as is. She's not modifying. She's not doing none of that. So she's been putting in the work. And the cool thing is that she's becoming, she's inspiring others to want to try Hyrox. Recently, we started a running pace club, the Rocks and Roll. That's what we call it, Rocks and Roll.
Hyrox.
Yeah, Hyrox.
I know. I see it. I see it.
So the Rocks and Roll running pace club, and the reason every other Saturday.
Oh, and you guys gonna be doing this from now on every other Saturday?
We started. Yeah, we've had four events. And it's been good, man. Like, people are loving it. Again, once you hear the word running, people are just like, oh,
yeah, nobody walking. Yeah.
So then I added pace in order to make it for everybody. Like, hey, if you want to come in, get your feet wet on the pavement, and you've always been interested in running some mileage, but you've never had a community or like a structure to do so, hey, come join us. So it's cool because people are seeing that Maria, the last 2 times, she's been leading the pack, like running the mile, which is, to me, is inspiring.
And people are surprised because she wasn't a big runner.
Yeah.
And she hated it, and she's a bigger woman, but she slimmed down a lot. So they're looking at her like, what are you doing? It's like, it's the Hyrox, So for us, it's like we're proud of ourselves for that. We're like, man, like, she's the prime example of why we're doing this.
She'd be
you
a
know what I
great
mean?
marketing for your
Right,
front.
and
Yeah.
that's what we talked about too. For her to do like a post or something
Mhm.
like where we can do something, what she says. But yeah, so she leads the pack now, which is for her is like, man. I asked her too, because I'll coach there occasionally when he's unable to. It's like, how does it feel like the way yours? She's like, it's crazy. I never thought I would lead a pack of people in a run club. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? For her, it's like so surreal. Like, so it's so we're proud, especially at like she's an older lady. She was obese, but now she's like in shape. Now she's faster than most people probably at that gym, and it's just it's very rewarding to help someone go through that.
Yeah, she's been really good. And then right now there's a opening for Hyrox for doubles and women, and two of the girls wanted to do it, and then I guess one of the person said no, and then I told
Maria.
Maria, I'm like, hey Maria, will you be down? She's like, you know what? I'm gonna say it in Spanish. She's like, me quiero calar. Let's do it.
Yeah,
let's
hell
try
yeah.
it. I want to try it. I'm like, damn, all right, hell yeah. Like it to me as a coach, I'm like, hell yeah. you
Yeah,
know?
hell yeah, yeah.
So I was like, all right, let's do it. Like if you guys are ready, let's do it. I would love to coach you guys when I'm there, you know. But overall, like we are a program within Banford Athletics, so I have to give credit where credit is due. You know, Jesse has made an awesome, he's been an awesome coach to them, like with strength, conditioning. You got Coach Kat too, that she deals. She works with people with pain. So she helps them use work out through the pain and strengthen those areas. So she's played they all the coaches there have played a factor in like all these like athletes progression and stuff like that. But implementing the Hyrox has given the people the itch to want to run again.
Yeah.
So that's what Hyrox did to me, and I love seeing that it's doing that to the community there. And the running club, it's growing. Let's see if I could pull up a picture real quick. And it's been going awesome, man. Like with the running club. This is
That's the whole like all the members.
yeah. So those are the groups that have been
Oh, I can tell
on.
which one Maria is.
Yeah. So
Damn, that's dope.
yeah.
And so is that why you guys do it? Because you've experienced it? Is this why you guys coach?
Yeah.
And this is why you guys want to do this? Is because you've experienced it and you want to give it to others?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, like I believe that. I mean, I'll let you answer because I'm like hogging the mic. I believe that running. I think it gives longevity. That's it, longevity. It's like, I'm a big believer in cardio, big believer in conditioning. I'm pretty sure you've heard this too. Like, there's some ads on Instagram, TikTok of like some trainers saying like, hey, here's a program, you want to lose fat. You don't have to do cardio at all.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
Bullshit, dude. To me, I'll call that bullshit. I don't like that because you're taking something away that could actually add longevity to someone's life, And I mean, to me, I will argue that getting your 7,000 steps, 12,000 steps, that's still some form of cardio.
Yeah.
So if I'm buying a program that tells me you don't have to do cardio at all, but then you're going to lose weight and all that stuff, but then it literally tells you like
On the bottom little
at
letters.
the bottom, hey, do your steps. What the fuck, man, No, but I would love to. That's the reason why I like Hyrox. One, because it's easy on the body. I'm not sure if you were familiar with this, but like strengthening the forearms is another form. It's another hack for survival, especially in older people, because when you trip or you fall,
Yeah.
what's the first thing you try to do?
Yep. Catch yourself.
Grip on something, right? So you want to have grip strength. So which Hyrox provides too with the kettlebell farmer walks. But overall, it is a sport that I would encourage a lot of people to try. And I'm not just saying this so people could come to the gym. Of course, come to the gym and try out Hyrox at Whittier. But overall, it's a good sport for everybody
Yes.
to try. Basketball players could do it. Football players could do it. Volleyball players could do it. Baseball players could do it. Anybody could do it. And here's a
Help you with those sports.
it helps you with sports. And the reason why, one last thing, the reason why I love it is because, and why I love conditioning now and now being more mature in that area. My grandma's 97 years old, and her base of cardio is walking. So then she's been walking, and she's been able to keep her longevity
Just from that.
just
cardio.
from walking, dude. That's it. So if to say, she's very, I mean, of course she's always stress free, but what I see, what she does, she never misses a morning without her walks. She's always walking.
It's good.
Always walking.
Yeah, it's good for her.
And so that's why I would love
She's
people.
gonna do Hyrox too.
She's gonna hit a 6-minute mile. 6-minute mile. We're going for that.
Unbroken 100 wall balls. Let's go. What was the question? Mario?
Is the reason why you do Hyrox, and not even Hyrox, but just coach and want to train people because you've experienced it, and so you want others to feel that way you felt?
Yeah. So for me, the base of that is just I want people to be healthy. I want people to have fitness. I want people to work out. And when I learned about Hyrox and stuff, I definitely want to promote it because it helps you with all that. Same thing as Mario, longevity, strength. It gives you a little bit of everything. So if someone's gonna do one thing, Hyrox would be a good thing to do. Even the workouts associated with it. We're both certified Hyrox trainers, so we like to coach how to be strong and all those things. And getting strong in those things is going to help you with daily activities.
And it matches
So-
what we do too: fun, challenging, and community.
Yeah, and it matches with our elite functional training. That's the thing. We wouldn't put anything in our programming if we didn't believe that it was going to help. So everything we program is to help. Like for instance, on my boot camp, it's not just 6 days, because Monday through Saturday of just boot camp, high intensity. That's it. It's 3 days of high intensity, one day of medium intensity, and then we have 2 days. 1 day is conditioning and cardio only, so we're not doing really any lifting, and then 1 day is just slow pace, learning the workouts. So yeah, it's strength and technique. So we do heavy lifting, but I teach them how to do the workouts so that when they do the boot camps or wherever they go and they work out, they're like, I know how to do it. Because during the boot camps, you can't teach. You're like, you have like X amount of people. You're looking around and stuff. You can't sit there for a minute. Teach someone because the time's ticking. They need to work out. So that's the class for the whole programming to help teach the, okay. And then I'll teach them, remember when we did that? Do that movement. Oh, okay, cool. Remember the clean? Remember the strict press? Remember these workouts? They're like, oh, yeah, okay. And then they'll correct themselves, essentially, So we program intentionally like that to help people learn the moves, understand fitness, and stuff like that. And we also teach on the side. Like after, they'll come to us, hey, what do you suggest I eat after a workout? Or hey, what do you suggest for this? Hey, my knee hurts. What do you suggest? A stretch or anything for that? So we're savvy with that. So we help them as well. So going back to it, yes, Hyrox is the base of all those things. You know what I mean? We learned a lot through Hyrox to teach these things as well. So yeah. We love the sport.
A better question now is to get a little deeper. Why do you even care about helping people?
For me, I just since a kid, I've always wanted to help people, especially weaker people.
Why?
Because I've always been big and strong and stuff, and I've always seen people that are not as big and strong. So I've always wanted people to be fit. And growing up, biblically, I won't go to biblically, but biblically, it's obvious. Help others, help your neighbor and stuff like that. But for me, I just wanted people to have a healthier lifestyle because I've seen so many unhealthy people. I've seen so many people with different conditions, especially as I get older and stuff, things that could have been preventative, things that, people are very lazy. And I see people watching TV, doing all this stuff. Like, no, like there's fun in fitness. You just need to learn. You just need to have an open mind to learn where you can find your fun in fitness. It could be walking 5 miles a day. That's fine. Having a conversation on the phone. Or it could be in high-intensity sports like Hyrox or Spartan race or anything like that. So just for me, it's just innately, there's no why. Innately, I've always just wanted to help people since I was born. Just help people. And like I said, I've always been bigger than people. So I've always wanted to help people be strong. And my specific goal is to help men be strong.
Okay. Yeah.
So for me, like I like to help men just, be stronger and, obviously use the strength for good. I forget who initially said the quote, but I know Jordan Peterson said it. I'd rather be a warrior in a garden than a gardener at a war. So that's my mentality. So I'd rather be strong as heck, healthy as heck, and not have to use it, than not be.
Yeah.
Right. So same thing with health. I'd rather be healthy as heck, super fit in shape, feeling good about myself than not. And I just want people to feel healthy. People have so many problems, like going through the medical field and stuff like that, and all this, the schooling I did. It's like a lot of things are preventative, a lot. And hopefully we get more holistic the next couple of years with the new administration. But people, there's other ways. There's different, like, these energy drinks can be very healthy. They could taste just as good with healthier ingredients. There's chips or whatever you have that can be way healthier. So just knowledge, learning. So I just want to help people understand, because no people understand. It's like spreading the gospel, right? You want people to know about God. You want people to understand God. You're not forcing anyone. A good Christian does not force anyone into Christianity. You talk about it, and then God saves the person. So same thing with fitness. You talk about it. You can take a horse to water, but you can't make the horse drink the water. So we can talk about the fitness. We can talk about working out. We can talk about all these things. Some people will, and those are the people that I'm trying to find, and then some people don't. So long answer short.
No, that's a good answer. That's a fucking good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Long story short is just naturally I've always wanted to help people. I have a heart for people, and I've always wanted to help people. I just want to help people all around if I can. That's my thing. I want to guide people and lead people to success and fitness and obviously Christ. But that's my answer. Why. Yeah. You too, Mario.
Yeah, why care? Why do you care about helping people?
So for me, at a younger age, I've always admired like the medical field. So I've always wanted to be a doctor. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And unfortunately, I didn't come from like a rich background, or I didn't know my way through getting scholarships or anything like that to become a doctor and all this stuff. So then what I did after high school, I became a medical assistant. And where I knew I wanted to help people, like specifically, there's 2 times. One, this person came in and she had like lesions of like herpes. And we were supposed to do, I didn't get into the actual like an actual nurse. I ended up at a, kind of like a physical therapy office. And this person, like, nobody wanted to come in, and because they were thinking of like, oh, fuck that, I'm gonna get herpes and all that stuff. And I was like, man, just give me the fucking gloves. Go in, put in the patches, started talking to the person. And when I saw how, like, you could be genuine with a person, how they can open up to you, and then you brighten up their day, because I'm pretty sure that person that has that, I'm sure they go through a lot of shit. Like, people don't want to sit with them, or et cetera, et cetera. But then it's like how that saying goes, right? Just a smile could change somebody's whole day. So same thing with when that was one point where like I was like, oh shit, okay, like it made her feel good, And in my head, I was like, okay, well, I wanted to be a doctor, play pretend, right? But obviously, I'm not gonna do any malpractices. But at that time, I was just talking to her, while she was getting like her physical therapy with the EMS patches. I was talking to her, and she was just talking to me like, oh, thank you so much, thank you for being kind and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, cool, awesome, that was the first time where I was like, okay, actually caring puts, can save a life pretty much, or can make someone's day, right? Because there's a lot more people that are going through some more hectic or fucked up, things than myself and other people, and we don't see that. The second one was when I started training. I actually got my hands on into training. There was a church. I forgot the name, but it was in Hollywood. Not the...
That's Scientology, right?
Not Scientology. I'm about to recruit you guys right now. Nah.
Tom Cruise's face is
but no, like I went in there. My buddy was like, hey, man, like I, you know how you always wanted to be a trainer? Hey, you want to volunteer? And I'm like, cool, And this is where, like, I saw where fitness was my thing. Like, this is where I knew where I wanted to help people through fitness. And I could do it not going into depth. And then 2, doing it willingly, So these people were post-drug abusers. So they were, like, coming out of rehab. Some were still using. But my buddy was, he donated his weights to a church. So then these guys would show up like around 8 p.m. And then I'll be like trying to coach them. At the time, mine, like, I didn't have a certification. I didn't have nothing. I was just barely learning. But still, it was kind of like, okay, I know how to do a curl. I know how to do a bench press. I know how to do incline pressing, shoulder pressing, whatever, And so I was like, all right, guys, like, today we're going to do chest, upper body. We're going to focus on, typical, bro split, right? We're going to do chest and triceps today. And then tomorrow we're going to do back and biceps, whatever. And so we started doing that. People started feeling so good. At that time, I didn't know about endorphins. I didn't know none of that, right? It was just like, okay, I'm seeing it change their moods. I'm seeing them actually enjoying this. I'm seeing them actually trying to eat healthy, and all this stuff. And I started bringing like posters of like Arnold, Frank Colombo. I started bringing like, posters of all these like bodybuilders, Mike Manser, and they started seeing, they'll talk about it. They'll be like, damn, that's fucking badass. Like, how do you get like that? Again, mine, I didn't know. I was like, just eating a lot of protein, I guess, right? But before as time went through, I mean, unfortunately, some of them didn't make it. Just they relapsed. Some actually, they're fucking fit right now, right? And they have families, and I saw how fitness gave them that 180 change.
Yeah.
From going here to here. And little did I know that, like, at the time I was clueless. I didn't know I was using psychology. So then I would be like, all right, guys, before we leave, we're going to fucking flex. Let's go. So before everybody was leaving, they'll be like, all right, fuck yeah. Like everybody's flexing, laughing, having a good time. So then as I started, doing fitness, that's when I knew. I was like, okay, I want to get my certification. I want to put my foot in the door on this. And this is where I actually genuinely started caring for people just because I saw how much it could change a life. I saw how much it could maybe save a life. A lot of influencers, a lot of bodybuilders, turned into fitness just to kind of for mental strength, for coming out of a dark place and stuff like that. So that's when I knew about caring people. And even now too, like when people miss their sessions, I could be an asshole and be like, I'm gonna charge you for that session. That's it, right? Without taking in consideration that, things are expensive now. And I could say easily, not even care, like, hey, I can't make it today because so-and-so. Okay, well, there goes your session, And to me, to charge that, your customer, your clients, right? Who's half-assing, who's putting in the work and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, it's like, as a coach, I think what caring should be your main priority being a coach. If you don't care about your client, if you don't care about the people you work with, one, you won't make it in this industry because it's a fucking tough industry. Second, you have to be willing to enjoy and willingly care about people. Again, if you don't do that, like, this profession's not for you, and you won't get. That's why a lot of trainers burn out. Yeah. For the same reason that and lastly, again, I see how fitness. I see how just being there for somebody, and I believe it's a. I might get backlash for this, but I feel it's a more affordable way of therapy than anything else. Like, of course, therapy is great. I take therapy myself, but I feel that, sometimes therapy can be a little taxing, money-wise. So I feel fitness could be another form of therapy if it's approached correctly. But at the end of the day, I feel like why I care about people so much, and I could easily just not give a fuck. Again, I believe everybody's here for a purpose. I believe everybody deserves to be healthy, mentally, physically, and I believe that everybody is meant to have community and not be alone. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
So, yeah. And my experience with that is like, I just found fitness is what made me happy as a person. It, I saw how it changed me too. And then just applying what it did to me, to others, and then through my experiences, like as a coach, I've seen how it's changed people so much. So I care because I want to see someone else good.
Yeah.
It's a tough question, right?
Yeah, it is
It's
a
a
tough
tough question. But if to say like it's a life, man. It's a fucking life. You
Yeah.
know? So I care about people. Like I didn't even know you today.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, what's up, bro? We gave a hug, right?
Yeah.
And just anything like that,
Yeah.
like, so it's cool with him too. Like when I met him, a week in, it was like, it felt like I had already met him for like
You guys had that.
fucking years, man. You know, so it's just I don't know, caring for people is hard, but when you genuinely care, I think your actions show.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, both of you still come. You guys haven't said it, but I think it relates with me too. Is like, I think helping one person will help that person become better,
Yes.
and that one person is in the interconnectedness of the whole world, and we all affect each other. And just helping that one person will help affect all these other people.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I think it all comes together. And I agree, health is the number one therapy.
Mm-hmm.
That I think if like I said, we were talking about earlier, like I think you should change your lifestyle, change your diet, change the way you work out, and then let's see where you're at from there.
Yeah.
And then let's see if it's something bigger. But I think this is probably the biggest proponent, if anything, to make a person better.
Yeah.
I think you guys just genuinely want to help people.
Yeah,
Same.
and in this industry, I mean, the fitness industry is very, when you're in it, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Like you meet so many people, you meet a lot of people and everything, but the background business side of the fitness industry can be a little nasty.
Yeah. It's a lot of
Just-
businesses. A lot of businesses are
it's
like
a
that.
lot
They're
of-
dirty.
You
It doesn't have to be. No, I agree. It doesn't have to be.
Everyone can succeed. Everyone can, like for me, it's like I guess if you're really selfish, but why do you want to be on top of the mountain by yourself, right?
That's a good. I don't have those thoughts, so I don't even know how to answer that
Right.
question.
I like for me, it's like you succeed, I succeed. Let's succeed together. Like
Yeah.
what the heck? Let's just do the best we can. Work together with people. Like that's why I teach my boys. I said, you guys, I want you guys, because they fight and stuff. I'm like, I want you guys to grow together so that you guys can do things together, grow business. Who can you trust more than your own brother?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
True.
So I tell them that, like, no one's stopping you from just doing things together and just building all these businesses together and succeeding together. So that's why I see him as a brother. Hopefully, I have a brother myself. He's a little younger than me. So I hope that when he's old, because he's showing interest in fitness and stuff, he can join us. You know what I mean? If he's into it, he could do programming for us or go somewhere, like starting at a young age. He's in high school still. So it's like it's the same thing, like working together and stuff. So as you can see, our passion is really helping. You can see from Mario, like he really
100%,
cares about people and stuff. So, and I saw that. That's why we related a lot, because he would care about me. He remembers people. He's like, because he used to coach a boot camp I used to go to. And he was like, Eric, do more weight. I was like, fool, stop calling me out. Call these people out. But he knew that I was stronger and I was doing lighter weight.
Yep.
It's like, no, do more. No, do it right. So that's a good friend. That's a good person that actually cares about your results.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yeah. So genuinely, like you said, we genuinely want to help people. And that's why we came together and did our own thing. And now we're hoping Elite Functional Training eventually grows to a gym. We hope you see like a 70s style Miami Vice, 80s,
That'd be crazy.
Miami Vice logo somewhere out there that says Elite Functional Training
Yeah.
at a city near you.
So when is the next event?
So right now we're thinking it's going to be the end of January. It's going to be
we have two. So
oh yeah, so that's right. So we have he keeps saying June, but it's January.
January. Yeah, I was like, damn, you guys are planning
Wrong
ahead.
Wrong J foo. But January 4th we're having a pop-up event at Winning Image in Downey. It's a grand reopening and it's introducing our legacy boot camp that we're programming. So right there we're gonna have vendors, like my wife's gonna sell her sourdough bread and scones and cinnamon rolls and stuff. And then we're gonna have like jewelry people there, Café de Olla, which is another great company that we love so much. And then just different vendors there, and then we're gonna have people tour the gym and stuff, and we're gonna have like an obstacle course people can do to win a gift card and stuff. Taco guy and stuff. So that's gonna be January 4th, and the end of January we're gonna do a PFT, right? PFT, physical fitness test. We're gonna have some vendors there. It's not gonna be as big, but it's gonna have some vendors there, and then it's gonna be a 80s style. So you could, while you're doing the event, you can have like an afro, and well, that's 70s, right?
Okay.
You look
Yeah,
like you're from the 80s.
Yeah, you're from the 80s. Yeah,
And we'll be playing 80s music.
Yeah.
And just 80s attire, the short shorts for the guys, and and all this and that. So so it'll be fun. So those are our next 2 events next year, early next year. So but yeah, we did a beach event. We had about like 8 people, so almost doubled from our first event and stuff. So our events have slowed down only because our programming has picked up so much. You know, the Downey and the Whittier programming. So he's been busy in Whittier, and I've been busy in Downey, but we still want to do events where we initially started, you know? So that's our goal. Our goal is to hire people and stuff, to do our programming and stuff, and just keep growing, to eventually, hopefully, get our gym, maybe still keep our programming at other gyms, but have our own gym where we have just, you know, all these programmings, all these events at the gym, and just make it fun, you know, community, challenging, and we're always going to be open to collaborating with anybody. We want to start the new trend of like, hey, we're doing it with this, we're doing a competition against this gym, you know, we're doing a competition against this gym. Oh, we're doing like our small version of like a Hyrox or Spartan race or something like that at our gym or at another gym that we partner with. Like that's the big vision. But
and that's what it adds to your question about caring. Like, it's like not just care about, you know, the clientele, the people itself, but also like other people that are advocates in the fitness industry. So it's like we care about the people. If we didn't care about people, we'd be scamming everybody and their mom. You know, we'd be fucking rich right now, right? Hey, I'll help you lose 30 pounds in 2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, what makes us different is that like we care about the people and being real with them too. Like, hey man, like it's gonna take some time if you want to lose 30 pounds in a healthy way. It's gonna take some time. It's not gonna take you a month, right? And now going back to your question, same thing with like the EFT and the events and all that stuff. Even if we get our own gym, when we get our gym, we always want to be open to collaborate with other gyms. Yeah. Because if we actually care the way we say we do, we're all advocates in the fitness, and then we want to be able to help as many people, or at least advocate fitness as much as we can for everybody.
And you want to work with gyms with the same mindset too.
Exactly. People that actually care about their clientele. Yeah. People that actually care about, you know, their people like Maria. What I love about Maria and Scott's what, 70, 60?
He's, I think, early 60s, late 50s.
This guy's jacked, man. He's fucking jacked. You know, and Maria.
Looks like Rambo.
Oh yeah, he looks like Rambo, dude. Yeah, Maria jacked as well. But what I love about them is that they bring that energy to their people. Hey guys, good job. You know, great momentum. Good job. We won the day today. You know, we're in it to win it. You know, and we love that, right? And then now when it comes to like Jesse like cares for the strength of his clients, like the people there, their mental health and all that stuff. Even like yesterday when we're finishing up the class, he waited at least 30 minutes to wait for for some people to come in that they were supposed to come in. Unfortunately, they didn't come in, but he's like, man, dude, like if I didn't care, I wouldn't be waiting right now. Like I would have gone, you know. This lady came to me. She said that, you know, she wanted her kids to kind of, you know, do some sporting because they've been like, you know, kind of like not working out or whatever. So I was like, okay, cool. You know, I'll let them in, you know, do their thing. I'll wait here and all that stuff. And, you know, to have coaches that care that's the people that we love working with, because it shows that they care not only for, the business side, but they also care about the people, you know, and it's hard to come around like with people like that, coaches and stuff like that. I've had my share of like, that I've met coaches that are not on the same level of like, you know, wanting to collaborate or stuff like that.
Own gyms that are not even into fitness.
Wait, what? You've seen that?
Yeah.
You've seen that? I've never seen that.
Yeah, we're just owner of the fitness. You know,
like literally just a straight business owner
of the gym, owners of the gym. Yeah, and they just hire people to do.
I mean, I guess when you say like there are business owners, I would never expect a business owner to get into like a gym, like unless it was like a big like LA Fitness Gold membership stuff. But
yeah, no, some people do that. But yeah, that's for my thing. If you want to own something, you have to. I mean, you don't have to, but I think for it to, you really feel like the authenticity of it.
Yeah.
You know, the owners love it. Like the owners of Winning Image, they love that gym. They love the people that go. Like every time you see that smiling, hey, how's it going? How are you? They'll call you. They'll text you. No, like she'll text me randomly every other day or so, and just be like, hey, just so you know, keeping me updated with things that just to because she really cares and she really loves the gym and stuff like that. So yeah, so we've met our share of people that are not really like that, but we don't want to give them clout or anything, so we don't really talk about it much anymore. So.
No, but we've been blessed with like people with the same mindset that care for the fitness industry, and I think that's if I could say that's a side of like people don't see about coaches, right? Like being a coach is hard, man. It's not just here's your workout, here's your nutrition, because at the end of the day, coaches go through their own shit too, right? But we always have to put in that A game when we're with clients, And I believe that, this industry doesn't really show that much, especially when you see influencers online, when you see like some bodybuilders, they talk about like their issues and stuff like that. But they still advocate, the fitness. But I think that's one thing that if people that, don't see the value in coaches and stuff like that, like, I hope that gives them that idea of like, damn, like a coach is a human too, because we're seen as superhuman. Like, hey, it's very true. He's my coach. Yeah. He's gonna keep me accountable. He's gonna keep me doing this. Okay, well,
every coach has a coach too.
Every coach has a coach.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So for me, I have my coach, Adam. He's a great prep contest coach. Adam Tang Trains. That's his Instagram. Great coach. Keeps me accountable. Of course, when I'm slacking off, he'll call me out, and I appreciate that. Hey man, you're fucking up. Get your shit together. Stop drinking, fool. Stop doing this. Stop doing that. And it's shit. It's true. Same with Erick. He's a coach. I'm his coach. He's my client, but he still keeps me accountable. As a coach. And other friends that are coaches too that keep me accountable. But it's I think it's truly a blessing, like when you kind of surround yourself with like people with the same mindset.
Especially when it's hard to find that nowadays.
Fitness. Yeah, it's hard.
I think that's a good way to end it. Social medias.
You guys could find me at Mario Medina Coaching. That's my Instagram, my personal training Instagram. From there, I am gonna start talking more about alcoholism. I'm going to start talking more about mindset, fat loss, and life experiences, just in a way to show people that like coaches have our own issues too, but we still are going to keep each other accountable, kind of creating that community of accountability.
Mine is Coach Erick L. So Coach Erick, ERIK, and then L at the end. And then our elite functional training written out, right? Elite.functional.training.
Okay.
Yeah, that's our programming page.
Together,
So that's our page. And
cool.
I think that's it.
Instagrams, and then January 4th.
January 4th, the Winning Image in Downey gym. It'll be there from 10 to 2 p.m. So we have an event there. And then the end of if you follow us, you'll see it. But at the end of January, we'll have a PFT. It'll be a free event. It'll be perfect to start off and everything. So it'll be at the Whittier BAM Fit Gym. So we'll have that there. But yeah,
cool. Thank you guys.
Thank you, bro.